Chapter 21-27. As Qin Yun hugged Xiao Yuelon, he helped her heal and took out little Jade Rabbit to absorb the poison in her body. Xiao Yuelon is deeply poisoned and consumed a lot of energy. It is already very good that she can still come to the Flower Moon Pavilion. Yuelon's cultivation is very high, she is at the great god realm. Even facing a heavenly god, she is not weak. How strong is that poison god? Qin Yun is secretly puzzled. According to what he knows, Thunder God's cultivation is probably at the heavenly god realm, and Poison God should not be as strong as Thunder God. With Xiao Yuelon's strength, it is impossible for her to suffer such a big loss. Xiao Yuelon has already fainted. Even though she came to the Flower Moon Pavilion, she is extremely vigilant. She did not dare to completely sleep and rest. Only when she is sure that Qin Yun is beside her did she dare to completely sleep and let her soul and body rest. Qin Yun further probed the situation in Xiao Yuelon's body and discovered that the poison power has already seeped into her bones and soul. It can be said that her entire body is filled with strong poison power, and it is all kinds of poison. All kinds of poison caused Xiao Yuelon to endure all kinds of pain. Body and soul are suffering. Qin Yun's expression became even colder. He wished he could immediately kill Poison God. He tightly hugged Xiao Yuelon's ice-cold body and penetrated his powerful mental power, locked onto the poison power and absorbed it into the nether sun. He also released his nether moon and controlled it to float beside Xiao Yuelon's head to absorb the poison power in her soul and help her quickly recover her damaged soul. Xiao Yun, Poison God's poison is very powerful. Do you think those heavenly poison grasses were provided by Poison God? Ling Yuner asked. Maybe Poison God is also Thunder God's subordinate. Back then, Poison God had a very good relationship with Thunder God. I wonder if the current Poison God is the same one from back then. Qin Yun said. The heavenly poison grasses are most likely provided by Poison God. Only when Xiao Yuelon wakes up will Qin Yun know more about the specific situation. With Qin Yun's help, Xiao Yuelon recovered relatively quickly. Her originally cold face is very pale and a bit of blood has appeared. Qin Yun gently caressed her face. After feeling the warmth, he felt a lot more at ease and then kissed her forehead. Xiang Yalan came in and after learning of the situation, she was very worried and waited anxiously outside. Qin Yun saw that Xiao Yuelon's condition has stabilized and noticed that her armor is stained with blood. After carefully analyzing the blood on it, he found that it was the blood of a deva. There was also a saber on the bed. Xiao Yuelon had been holding it tightly before, but now she gradually loosened her grip. Qin Yun used his mental power to control the saber to float over. Then, he used his heavenly eye to check the clues left on the saber and found that there was also the blood of a celestial on it. Apart from that, there was also a very powerful blood. Traces of gray power remained within that blood. Seeing the gray power, Qin Yun was alarmed. That was the power of the chaotic divine sun. That kind of blood contained chaotic divine yang energy, which meant that it was very likely that the blood belonged to the chaotic clan. Yuelon is being besieged by heavenly men, primal chaos race people and Poison God? Qin Yun now understands that Xiao Yuelon's enemies are not just Poison God alone. A few hours later, Xiao Yuelon also opened her eyes. However, she had not completely recovered. She only hugged Qin Yun tightly and shrunk into his embrace. She enjoyed this beautiful and comfortable feeling. Little hubby, I want to take a bath. Xiao Yuelon half opened her eyes, a faint smile appeared on her face, and she said softly, I want you to take a bath with me. Alright. Qin Yun laughed. He carried Xiao Yuelon to the side of the bath and released the divine spring water to heat it up. Very soon, the bath began to be filled with steam. Qin Yun carried the weak and haggard beauty and entered the bath together. At this time, Xiao Yuelon also circulated Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. She leaned on Qin Yun's bosom and soaked in the comfortable and warm hot water. The young couple cultivated together, and at the same time carried out the sweet intimacy of a reunited husband and wife. After cultivating together, Xiao Yuelon recovered even faster. In just 4 to 6 hours she became a lot more spirited. "Where is Yu Shaoling? Wasn't she with you the whole time?" Qin Yun asked. After the myriad realms divine sun came out, she fell into a deep slumber inside my 9 divine soul. Xiao Yuelon's lily-white hand wandered around Qin Yun's body. Then she raised her hand and a string of silver beads appeared on her wrist. Qin Yun said in shock, "Sister Kiru gave you the 9 divine soul?" Xiao Yuelon shook her head and smiled. "This is a new 9 divine soul. Before Mu Yu left, she gave it to me. It is the same as Sister Kiru's 9 divine soul." Qin Yun is secretly shocked in his heart. Mu Yu can actually directly produce 9 divine soul. It is clearly a copy. "Yuelon, I have 9 sun divine veins. Just now, I cultivated Sun and Moon Heart Sutra's 3rd layer with you. Do you have any reaction now?" Qin Yun asked. "Not yet. Maybe it's because we haven't cultivated together for long enough," Xiao Yuelon said with charming smile. "I feel that I can definitely cultivate 9 divine veins or 9 sun divine veins." Qin Yun suddenly said with stern expression, "Who injured you so heavily before? I discovered the blood of heavenly man and primal chaos race on your armor and blade. The poison on your body is the poison power of the poison god." Xiao Yuelon never took the initiative to talk about this matter. Clearly, she doesn't want Qin Yun to participate. "Xiao Yun, you don't have to worry. This time, I only made a mistake. There won't be a next time," Xiao Yuelon said softly. "You should properly cultivate in peace and raise your cultivation." "What are you doing?" Xiao Yuelon pouted coquettishly. "We are not husband and wife. You won't even tell me this kind of thing?" Qin Yun said with stern expression. "Also, don't look down on me." Qin Yun also knows that Xiao Yuelon is doing this for his own good. That's why she didn't say too much to him. She was worried that he would get hot-headed and risk his life. This is mainly because his cultivation is low. "Then promise me first, don't take the risk." Xiao Yuelon bit her lips. Her appearance was very charming, especially her beautiful eyes that were filled with spring. They had a very strong power to captivate one's soul. "I promise you." Qin Yun nodded and can't help but kiss her cheek. "Primal Chaos Race wants to capture me." Xiao Yuelon coldly snorted. "Some bastards from the Primal Chaos Race know that I'm the 9 Sun Goddess and want to capture me. And there is also the Heavenly Law Divine Realm behind this. The Poison God should be in cahoots with them." Qin Yun suddenly became extremely worried and said, "When you 9 Sun Goddess go out, don't act alone. The people from the Primal Chaos Race are very strong. Don't worry, nothing will happen to us. This time, it was because I obtained the protection of the Mother Moon and the myriad realms divine sun that I was able to escape at the critical moment." Xiao Yuelon chuckled and said, "Xiao Yun, leave this matter to me. I will handle it well." Qin Yun grunted and nodded in agreement. "Good boy, I'll reward you with a kiss." Xiao Yuelon smiled and then kissed Qin Yun. Qin Yun has already begun planning how to take revenge on the Heavenly Law Divine Realm, the Primal Chaos Realm and the Poison God. He planned to start with the Qin Yao Royal City. The Heavenly Law Divine Realm and the Primal Chaos Realm definitely have properties in the Qin Yao Royal City. He will secretly investigate and then remove all the properties of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm and the Primal Chaos Realm in the Qin Yao Royal City. "Yuelon, is that Poison God one of the Thunder God's subordinates? You've seen the Poison God before. Tell me what he looks like." Qin Yun said. "The Poison God is a middle-aged man, one of the most powerful subordinates of the Thunder God." Xiao Yuelon said, "I went to the Myriad Realms Divine Palace before and took a boat from the Myriad Realms Divine Palace to Qin Yao King City. On the way there, the boat suddenly had a problem. When I got off the boat, I was surrounded and attacked. It seems like when you were in the Myriad Realms' divine palace, the Thunder God already noticed you," Qin Yun said. "Xiao Yun, you won't secretly look for them, right?" Xiao Yuelon looked at Qin Yun with hidden bitterness. "No way, no way." Qin Yun laughed, then changed the topic and said, "Yuelon, I might have to cultivate 9 divine profound Tao images, are you the same?" "I'm not, I only cultivate 6 divine profound Tao images." Xiao Yuelon is somewhat astonished. "We all have 6 divine profound Tao images." Soon after, Qin Yun told Xiao Yuelon about his situation. After Xiao Yuelon finished listening, she said with a smile, "Xiao Yun, if you can really cultivate 9 divine profound Tao images, then you will definitely be even stronger. Let's hurry up and start cultivating together. This will allow you to refine that Xian E divine pill even faster." "You rest first, you haven't recovered yet," Qin Yun said. "I've almost recovered." Xiao Yuelon pressed her hand on Qin Yun's chest and said with a smile, "Let's begin." Just like this, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon soaked in a comfortable hot spring and cultivated the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra together. With Xiao Yuelon's help, the speed at which they refined the Xian E divine pill is indeed very fast. When they cultivated until late at night, Xiang Yalan suddenly opened the door and came in. When she saw the couple in the bath, her face immediately turned red. "Sister Yalan, do you want to join us?" Xiao Yuelon said with a smile. "I saw that you guys didn't move for so long, so I came in to take a look because I was worried." After Xiang Yalan finished speaking, she turned around and ran out with a red face, causing Xiao Yuelon to laugh non-stop. 2 days passed and Qin Yun cultivated the 6th divine profound Tao image. It is the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. His divine power is also naturally stronger than before. And the 7th divine profound Tao image also appeared. It is very blurry and it is not clear what it is for now. Xiao Yuelon completely recovered. She entered Qin Yun's 9 Sun Divine Spirit and saw Yang Yang, Mo, and Little Jade Rabbit. She played with them for a long time before coming out. During these few days of cultivation, because Qin Yun's 9 Sun Divine Veins can assimilate other people's divine veins, Xiao Yuelon also cultivated 9 Sun Divine Veins. She cultivated 9 Sun Divine Veins, and did not form 9 Yin Sacred Veins like Xian Rujing. It is unknown why. Next, Xiao Yuelon will go into seclusion alone for a few days to adapt to the 9 Sun Divine Veins. When Luyu Shuyan comes over, she will go find Poison God and the others to settle the score. Luyu Shuyan already knew that Qin Yun has come to Divine Desolate. She still has some matters to attend to in the Myriad Realms Divine Court, so she will come over later. Qin Yun left the Flower Moon Pavilion and immediately went to find Qin Zhangquang. He asked him to help inquire about the Primal Chaos Realm and Heavenly Law Divine Domain, as well as the businesses of Poison God and Thunder God. Chapter 21-28. After Qin Yuda and his son were beaten up by Qin Yun in Jasper Flower Valley, they appeared very calm. This kind of scandal, the father and son would definitely not speak of it. It was because it was very calm that Qin Yun had to be even more wary of the father and son. Because with Qin Yuda and his son's personalities, they wouldn't let the matter rest. Qin Yun arrived at Wild Slayer Mountain Manor. Over the past 2 to 3 days, the divine flowers in the medicinal field have grown very well. From time to time, Shui Weiwei and the others would come over to take a look. Because he had offended Qin Yuda, when Qin Yun was at the Flower Moon Pavilion, he told Xiang Yalan to tell Feng Honglan and the others not to go to the Wild Beheader Villa during this period of time. Qin Zhangquang had learned quite a few techniques from Yuan Yenying and company. He could handle this large medicinal garden by himself. "Little Qin, are you doing well at my grandma's place?" Qin Zhan laughed wildly. I'm doing very well. She takes good care of me." He now knows that Qin Zhanquang holds a very important position in Granny Qionghua's heart. Otherwise, Qin Zhanquang wouldn't have been able to convince Grandma Qianghua to accept him without any hesitation. Grandma Qianghua knew that she couldn't spoil her eldest grandson too much, so she didn't interfere in some things. It's just that she didn't expect Qin Yuda to be so vicious and merciless that he actually wanted to kill Qin Zhanquang. If the toxicity of the sky poison grass was strong enough, and Qin Zhanquang stayed in the wild slayer manner for too long, he would absorb a large amount of the sky poison grass's poison, which would cripple him. Qin Yun did not tell Qin Zhanquang about this matter. He is also worried that Qin Zhanquang would be too angry and kill Qin Yuda. Qin Yun wanted to kill Qin Yuda, but he could not cause too much of a commotion. He had to do it secretly. Regarding the god of poison, I've found out for you, Qin Zhanquang suddenly said in a serious tone. Little Qin, tell me, is the sky poison grass hidden below related to the poison god? I am still not sure. Qin Yun said. Poison god has already arrived at Qin Yao King City. He has a disciple named Du Daisen who is often together with Qin Yuda. Qin Zhanquang said. How long have Du Daisen and Qin Yuda known each other? Asked Qin Yun. It's been a few years. I only started investigating Qin Yuda recently. Qin Zhanquang said. Natural law divine realm and chaos realm, what kind of businesses do they have in the Qin Yao King City? Did you find anything? Qin Yun asked again. Since Poison God came to Qin Yao Royal City, it means that he most likely knows that Xiao Yuelan is in the Flower Moon Pavilion. Many of our businesses are related to medicinal herbs. Qin Zhanquang looked around and said in a low voice, Little Qin, why are you asking about this? Whether it is the natural law divine realm or the chaotic realm, they are both very powerful forces. Even the entire Qin imperial clan did not dare to provoke a power like that. It's nothing, I just want to understand them so that I don't have any conflicts with them in the future, Qin Yun said with smile. He did not dare to let Qin Zhanquang know that he was going to wipe out the businesses of the Chaos Realm and the Natural Law Divine Realm. Qin Zhanquang nodded his head and said, We do indeed need to understand this clearly, because the Natural Law Divine Realm and the Chaos Realm are both very strong, and these fellows are not very reasonable. Even if they are unreasonable, they will use their own fists to show that they are reasonable. Soon after, Qin Yun learned about the situation of the Chaos Realm and the Natural Law Divine Realm from Qin Zhanquang. The Chaos Realm is rather complicated because there are several factions within the Chaos Realm, and the primal Chaos race in Qin Yao Royal City is one of the more powerful factions. As for the Natural Law Divine Realm, it is more unified. Qin Yun already has a certain understanding of the power structure within the Natural Law Divine Realm. Basically, it is formed by the powerful Heavenly Mother and the Heavenly Emperor. Qin Yun and Qin Zhanquang were inside the house when they suddenly sensed something flying over the medicine garden. The formation that Qin Yun had set up earlier could sense what was flying over from the sky. Qin Zhanquang and Qin Yun immediately went out and saw two people in the sky. They were Qin Yuda and a yellow-skinned middle-aged man. It's Qin Yuda and Du Daisen. Qin Zhanquang suddenly clenched his fist. It was these two people who had joined hands to kill him. The medicine garden had a barrier, so they could only float in the air to check on the situation of the medicine garden. They were unable to come down. Qin Yun transmitted his voice to Qin Zhanquang and said, Old Qin, they might have discovered the situation deep underground. I'm guessing that they will most likely come to cause trouble for you in the next 2 or 3 days. Just come. Qin Zhanquang coldly snorted. Qin Yun and Qin Zhanquang returned to the house and began to discuss how to deal with Qin Zhanquang. In the air, Qin Zhanquang coldly looked at the medicine field below and said, Brother Du, that Qin Fei is really quite capable. Look at the divine flower medicine below. It's only been a few days and it's already grown so well. You, this big brother, have met a benefactor, Du Dayson's thin and dry yellow face was filled with a cold smile. But, I, Du Dayson, am Qin Zhangquang's nightmare. No matter what expert he meets, he will not be able to escape from my nightmare. Brother Du, let's begin. Qin Zhangquang sneered. He did not tell Du Dayson about him being beaten up by Qin Yun because it was too embarrassing. In order to not let this matter leak out, he even forced his own son to sign a soul contract with the little grass god. He was a great god realm cultivator and also possessed the grass god's divine position. He was also the grandson of the medicine king Qin and stood in the thunder god's camp. If others knew that he was beaten up by a little god, what would they think of him? Face is incomparably important to Qin Yuda. He only told Du Dayson that Qin Yun has mastered a very good inscription do technique, and that his ability to grow flowers and plants is very strong. Du Dayson held a small red flag in his hand. He closed his eyes and chanted an incantation. The runes on the red flag suddenly lit up. He kept chanting incantations and after a while, he suddenly stopped. Seeing Du Dayson's puzzled expression, Qin Yuda quickly asked, Brother Du, what's wrong? The heavenly poison great array seems to be gone. I can't sense the heavenly poison great array. Du Dayson's expression greatly changed as he said, Could it be that the heavenly poison grass has been discovered? That Qin Fei is quite capable. Maybe he discovered the heavenly poison grass. Qin Yuda felt that it is very possible. He has experienced Qin Yun's might before. This won't do, we have to go down and take a look. The heavenly poison grass belongs to Master. It is a very important poison to Master, we can't lose it. If Master finds out, we will all be blamed. Du Dayson promptly said. But I'm worried that my big brother won't let me enter the villa. The villa's barrier is very powerful, Qin Yuda said. As long as he opens the door, I will use poison. You just have to think of a way to make him open the door. Du Dayson said with sneer. That Qin Fei you are talking about, he will also fall into our hands. Qin Yuda admires Du Dayson's poison very much. If Du Dayson used poison to capture Qin Yun, he would be able to ruthlessly torture Qin Yun. Alright. Qin Yuda laughed sinisterly a few times. Brother Du, when you use poison, try to use as many and better as possible. Only then will you be absolutely safe. Don't worry, they are just a few small fries. Du Dayson laughed loudly and said, There are many great gods who have died in my hands. Your big brother and that little Qin are too lacking compared to those great gods. Qin Yuda immediately landed at the entrance of the wild beheader villa. He vigorously knocked on the door and shouted, big brother, not good, not good. Qin Zhangquang and Qin Yun are inside the house. They also heard Qin Yuda's shout. He and Du Dayson definitely did not come with good intentions. Qin Yun said, Ignore them. Qin Zhangquang nodded. Qin Yuda waited for a while, but Qin Zhangquang did not come out to open the door. He shouted again, Big brother, Grandma is about to die, why don't you come out quickly? Qin Zhangquang can no longer sit still. He immediately stood up and said with a frown, This tramp Qin Yuda, no matter how deranged he is, he would not dare to joke around with Grandma. Grandma Jasper Flower is very well, moreover she is a powerful heavenly god. How could something happen to her? Qin Yun immediately determined Qin Yuda's purpose in coming here. No matter what, this is the Qin Yao royal city. Qin Yuda should not be too excessive. If something really happens to Grandma and I am not there immediately, it will not be good. Qin Zhangquang is very worried. He is already extremely anxious. He cares a lot about his grandma, it can be seen that he is very filial. Qin Yun can understand Qin Zhangquang's filial piety, so it is not good to stop him. He said in low voice, Old Qin, I will go back to Jasper Flower Valley with you. But, you walk in front, I will follow behind you while invisible. Alright. Qin Zhangquang immediately walked out. After Qin Yun became invisible, he also concealed his aura. Qin Zhangquang quickly walked towards the door, Qin Yun slowly followed behind. Qin Yuda, what happened to Grandma? After Qin Zhangquang opened the door, a gust of wind blew in. The moment Qin Zhangquang opened the door, a gust of wind blew in. There are a few medicinal fields near the door, there are many small flower seedlings. The moment they were blown by the gust of wind, they all turned black and then quickly melted, turning into boiling bubbles. This is an incomparably lethal poison. Qin Zhangquang's face was hit by the colorless and odorless poison wind. His face became incomparably black, even the whites of his eyes turned black. Even his teeth and tongue, his entire mouth turned completely black. Qin Yun's heart jumped in fear and trepidation. The first attack was this kind of lethal poison. It can be seen how ruthless the culprit is. Qin Zhangquang lied on the ground and screamed miserably. Qin Yuda is also startled. He did not expect Du Daison's attack to be so vicious. He is somewhat worried. After all, this is the Qin Yao royal city. Moreover, it is the wild beheader villa. Du Daison pushed the stunned Qin Yuda into the door, and then quickly closed the door. Brother Du, your poison is too vicious. Qin Yuda very anxiously said. Don't worry, he won't die. Du Daison said with sneer. If your big brother dies, we can just pin the crime on Qin Fei's head. It would be best to let him take the blame. After Qin Yuda heard this, he said with smile. Not bad, not bad, that guy should also be here. Du Daison walked over, stepped on Qin Zhangquang's pitch-black bald head, and said with sneer. Quickly tell me, has the heavenly poison grass been taken out? Fuck your mother. Qin Zhangquang shouted with all his strength and spat out a mouthful of black poisonous blood. Chapter 21-29. Qin Yun is not inside the house, he is nearby. Du Daison is much stronger than he imagined, so he doesn't dare to face him head-on. He can also see that Qin Zhangquang's condition is quite stable. If Qin Zhangquang is in danger, he will attack regardless of everything. Du Daison is extremely confident as he walked towards the small house. At this time, Qin Yun secretly controlled the wild beheader villa's great formation and completely locked the door. Then he opened the wild beheader villa's illusory great formation to prevent outsiders from seeing the situation inside. Even if there is a big commotion here, the sound won't be able to spread out. After Du Daison entered the small house, Qin Yuda is also beating his big brother. Qin Yun released the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. Ever since he cultivated the cauldron Dao image, the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron has become a lot stronger. He can control it more freely, and in the blink of an eye, it flew above the small house. Boom! The heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron suddenly turned upside down, sealing the entire small house and Du Daison inside the cauldron. Qin Yuda is currently beating up Qin Zhangquang. After he heard the sound and saw the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron, his expression suddenly changed. He suddenly sensed danger approaching. Bang! He felt a surge of scorching energy rushing towards him, condensing into a single point and striking towards him. Just as he sensed the intense burning hot power, his body is in extreme pain. His heart has been pierced by a very small burning hot thing, creating a hole. Qin Yuda's heart is injured. Even if he has very strong great god power, he can't circulate it in a short time. He looked at the direction of the energy attack and saw Qin Yun suddenly appear there. Qin Yun is holding a small pistol in his hand. The bullets he shot just now were refined from Divine Universe Golden Stone. He has a kind of bullet that is refined from Divine Universe Golden Stone mixed with many kinds of Nether Sun Core materials. One Divine Universe Golden Stone can be refined into 10 of these bullets. He only has 10 of these bullets in total. They are very precious, they were refined by him in Sacred Desolate. Just one spear easily pierced through Qin Yuda's armor and body protecting Divine Talisman and pierced through his heart. Tree roots transformed into claws, suddenly extended from the ground and wrapped around Qin Yuda's lower body. I am one of Grandma Cheonghua's most beloved grandchildren. You dare to kill me? Qin Yuda had seen Qin Yun's ferociousness, so he was immediately terrified. If you dare to attack your big brother, why wouldn't I dare to attack you? Qin Yun said with sneer. I am also a member of Qin family. Today, I will help Qin family exterminate trash like you. As his voice fell, he had already flashed behind Qin Yuda. His 2 fingers pressed against Qin Yuda's lower back. Boom! A crisp sound rang out. That was the heaven-extinguishing 9 fingers, piercing heaven. The finger was accompanied by the power of the mysterious penetration divine power, which made the finger force more penetrative. It successfully penetrated the life crystal in Qin Yuda's body. After Qin Yuda's life crystal was hit by the finger force, it was pierced through his abdomen and fell to the ground. Following that, Qin Yun used the godly monarch Heavenly Seal's power to grab Qin Yuda's deity throne. The grass god's deity seat was a pearl with a blade of grass growing inside. Qin Yuda spat out a mouthful of blood and looked at his deity position and his shattered life crystal in horror. Old Qin, are you alright? Just now, Qin Yun released little Jade Rabbit to help Qin Zhanquang suck out the poison. Qin Zhanquang's face was no longer as black as before. I won't die. Qin Zhanquang is incomparably shocked. He really did not expect that Qin Yun, a late-stage god, could easily kill Qin Yuda, a great god with deity seat. Brother Do, quickly save me. Qin Yuda spat out blood and screamed in fear. Qin Yun smiled as he looked at Qin Yuda struggling on the ground and said, Don't worry, your brother Du will soon follow you on your way. Do you really want to kill me? If my grandfather Medicine King Qin and grandmother Cheonghua find out about this, they will definitely tear your corpse into 10,000 pieces. Qin Yuda saw the smile on Qin Yun's face and became even more afraid. Qin Yun slowly took out a mirror and placed it in front of Qin Yuda. An image suddenly appeared in the mirror. It is the process of Qin Zhanquang opening the door and being poisoned. Everything that Qin Yuda and Du Daisen said to Qin Zhanquang is recorded in the mirror. Your grandfather Medicine King Qin and grandmother Cheonghua will definitely see this, Qin Yun said with smile. Do you still think that after you die they will be sad? No, they will only be happy. Qin Yuda shivered. His heart is filled with incomparable jealousy. Before he died, he realized that his big brother made friends with a terrifying expert. If this expert's cultivation was high enough, even the god of thunder would not be his match. Qin Zhanquang prostrated himself in admiration towards Qin Yun. This way, if grandmother Cheonghua finds out that Qin Yuda was killed by him in the future, he will have enough reason to do so. Qin Yun waved his hand and the huge heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron suddenly shrunk and flew over. After the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron returned to Qin Yun's hand, Qin Yun poured formidable power into it and turned it into berserk thunder and lightning, causing Du Daisen inside to scream miserably again and again. Du Daisen's whole body is scorched black and seriously injured. He fell down and smashed onto Qin Yuda's body, howling in a low voice. Qin Yun looked at Du Daisen and said with smile, Brother Du, right? Qin Yuda's life crystal was shattered by me, he is very sad. In order to not let him feel so sad, I will also shatter your life crystal. While speaking, he pointed 2 fingers at Du Daisen's dantian and released finger power. Boom! Du Daisen immediately screamed and vomited blood. He twitched and rolled on the ground. His life crystal has also been shattered. He is in incomparable pain. Qin Yuda, you bastard, this guy is so powerful, why didn't you tell me? Du Daisen cried in pain. Qin Yuda is also cursing Du Daisen in his heart. He thought that Du Daisen is very strong, he did not expect that he is worse than him. Qin Yun said, I discovered the heavenly poison grass long ago, and took it out. The heavenly poison great formation you set up has also been destroyed by me. You bastard! Du Dason said angrily. Do you know that I am Poison God's disciple? And my master is in Qin Medicine King City. Of course I know. Moreover, I still want to find Poison God to settle the debt, Qin Yun said with sneer. Poison God participated in besieging Xiao Yuelon. Poison God must die. In his eyes, Poison God is no different from a dead person. You? Poison God is Thunder God's most important subordinate, you dare. Du Dason suddenly stopped speaking because Qin Yun's aura is too terrifying. Qin Yun's killing intent and hatred towards Thunder God is released without any concealment, causing Du Dason and Qin Zhanquang to be scared to death. Thunder God will also die. Qin Yun retracted his aura and became very calm. He said indifferently, I will send you on your way first. I will also send Thunder God to reunite with you. Oh right, Rain God and Snake God from before are already waiting for you. Du Dason and Qin Yuda screamed in fright. Rain God and Snake God have already disappeared. Thunder God also sent many people to search for them, but their whereabouts are still unknown. He did not expect that they have already been killed by someone. Qin Yun's two fingers joined together. Qin Zhanquang and Du Dason's bodies are entangled by tree vines and fixed to the ground. Bang! His hands simultaneously unleash two heaven-extinguishing 9 fingers, exploding heaven finger power. Exploding heaven finger power, along with Berserk 9 Sun Divine Flame, hit Du Dason and Qin Yuda's bodies and exploded. A burst of scorching heat wave rose up. Du Dason and Qin Yuda turned into ashes and fell into the medicine field. Old Qin, don't be afraid, you are my friend, I won't attack my friend. Qin Yun saw that Qin Zhanquang's poison has been completely removed and said with smile. It's useless even if I am afraid. If you wanted to kill me, I would have already died. Qin Zhanquang laughed heartily. Seeing that Qin Yuda has been killed, he felt very happy in his heart. Qin Yun said, Next, I will disguise myself as Qin Yuda and leave the city. Moreover, when I leave the city, I will cause some commotion. Xiao Qin, it's been hard on you. Qin Zhanquang was worried that Qin Yuda and Du Dason would join hands to deal with his medicine garden. But now, Qin Yuda and Du Dason have turned into ashes and become fertilizer, forever staying in the wild beheader villa. Qin Yun was completely dispelled of the remaining poison. Then, he disguised himself as Qin Yuda and walked out of the city. On the way out of the city, he scolded many people at the city gate. This way, everyone knows that Qin Yuda has left the city. In the evening, Qin Yun sneaked into the Qin Medicine King City. He returned to the wild beheader villa and saw that Qin Zhanquang has recovered quite well, so he felt a lot more at ease. Qin Zhanquang also just happened to receive a piece of news and said, Xiao Qin, in the Heavenly Law Divine Realms property, the Heavenly Law Pavilion, there will be a treasure auction tonight. There will be all kinds of rare treasures for sale there. The Poison God will attend that treasure auction. I'll go now, Qin Yun said with smile. Then he went to disguise himself as a burly man with a full beard. Xiao Qin, I don't need to worry about you. Even if you can't beat him, you can still run away. Qin Zhanquang laughed and said, But you still have to be careful, don't capsize the boat. Old Qin, thank you for your concern, Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. At night, Qin Yun left the wild beheader villa and headed towards the Heavenly Law Pavilion. The Heavenly Law Pavilion is also in the rich and noble district, but it is quite far from the Flower Moon Pavilion. The rich and noble district is very large, and there are many tall buildings gathered together. The Heavenly Dao Pagoda was hundreds of floors high. It was a square jade tower. Many people were flying around the Heavenly Dao Pagoda. Qin Yun planned to sneak in and directly kill the Poison God. If he wanted to participate in that treasure auction, he had to plan carefully. The Heavenly Law Pavilion is very big. It won't be easy for him to go in and find the Poison God. However, He knows that the poison god will definitely participate in that treasure auction. Qin Yun stood at the side of the street. Just as he was calculating in his heart, he suddenly sensed a familiar aura. It's the sect master of the ancient Dan divine sect, Gu Tianyue. On the street, he saw a luxurious carriage. It was Gu Tianyue's carriage. After thinking for a moment, he quickly walked over and released his powerful mental power. He sent a sound transmission into the carriage. Sect Master Gu, I'm Shao Qin. Do you still remember me? Qin Yun asked. Gu Tianyue immediately opened the door of the carriage and saw a burly man with a full beard. He was startled and said with a smile, Why have you changed? Quickly come in. The interior of Gu Tianyue's carriage is like a spacious living room. His rather handsome son Gu Yongli is also present. Chapter 2130. In these 2 days, Gu Tianyue also contacted Grandma Qianghua to ask her to arrange a meeting with him. However, she said that Qin Yun is not in the Jade Flower Valley. At that time, Gu Tianyue thought that Grandma Qianghua deliberately did not let him meet Qin Yun. He even blamed her in his heart. He did not expect that he would meet Qin Yun like this. Gu Tianyue's ancient Dan God sect mainly focuses on pill refining and medicine growing. His ancient Dan God sect can establish a foothold in God Desolate because its overall strength is very strong. As the sect master, Gu Tianyue's vision is also very good. He knows Qin Yun's potential very well. Shao Qin, we are indeed going to participate in the treasure auction to see what kind of treasures there are. Gu Tianyue smiled and nodded. Qin Yun looked at the round-faced fat old man inside the carriage and said with some embarrassment, Sect Master Gu, I was not invited but I also want to go and take a look. The treasure auction can indeed increase one's knowledge. You just came to God Desolate from the lower realms, you need to broaden your horizons. You should come with us. Gu Tianyue is extremely happy. Big brother Qin, you are only a late-stage god but your strength is so strong. You can actually suppress a great god realm grass god. Gu Yongli recalled what happened that day and is still shocked. This is mainly because of cultivating the mysterious God Dao image. I cultivate the mysterious God Dao image steadily and surely, cultivating every mysterious God Dao image to the extreme. If I can't cultivate the mysterious God Dao image, then I will think of all kinds of methods to break through and let the mysterious God Dao image advance one step further. Soon after, Qin Yun talked non-stop about how he cultivated the mysterious God Dao image to the extreme, causing Gu Tianyue and Gu Yongli to exclaim in admiration again and again. It caused them to forget to enter the heavenly Dao pagoda inside the carriage. It's not convenient here, otherwise I could let you guys see my mysterious God Dao image. Qin Yun said with smile. What he said earlier was not a lie. He, the Nine-Yang Palace King and the King of Gods, has a lot of experience and insight on the path of God cultivation. Even Gu Tianyue benefited a lot from what Qin Yun said. Shao Qin, you are truly a peerless genius. You just entered God Desolate and you have already comprehended your own cultivation path. Gu Tianyue said, My carriage has a barrier. If it's convenient for you, can you let us see your mysterious God Dao idol? Gu Yongli looked at Qin Yun with anticipation. Qin Yun smiled and released his divine Dragon Dao image. It is only a divine Dragon Dao image. As soon as the God Dragon Taoist image came out, many of the seats in the carriage cracked. The carriage shook incessantly, and the interior was filled with arrogant hot air. Gu Tianyue and Gu Yongli were so shocked that they were tongue-tied. It's actually the divine Dragon Dao image. This, Gu Yongli said with a face full of shock. This is a very powerful divine profound Dao image. Not only is it the Dao image of the divine dragon, but it has also been cultivated to such an extreme. Gu Tianyue exclaimed. Qin Yun promptly stored the divine Dragon Dao image and said with faint smile, I am just lucky to be able to cultivate a divine Dragon Dao image. Everyone hoped that they could cultivate a powerful profound God Dao idol, and the divine Dragon Dao idol was the pinnacle of profound God Dao idols. For many people with good aptitude, being able to cultivate a first-rate profound God Dao idol is already pretty good, not to mention a pinnacle divine beast Dao idol. Of course, Qin Yun's divine hammer Dao idol and heavenly lion Dao idol are also pinnacle. He just didn't release them. Gu Tianyue and Gu Yongli now understand why the divine power of deity realm can be compared to great deities. Not only because they possess a pinnacle profound God Dao idol, they also cultivated it to such a terrifying level. Shao Qin, if your soul and body were not strong enough, you would not be able to bear such a terrifying profound God Dao idol. 3 powerful profound God Dao idols surrounding a life crystal. If the life crystal was not strong enough, it would shatter. When Gu Tianyue thought of this, he felt even more regret in his heart. One must be strong enough in all aspects to be able to cultivate such a terrifying profound God Dao idol. Gu Yongli said with some doubt, Big Brother Qin, if you want to cultivate such a powerful profound God Dao idol, you will need a lot of time, right? Qin Yun said with smile, I can also be considered a pill master. I plant medicine and then refine pills to eat. I can become stronger in a short period of time. Thinking of Qin Yun's superb inscription Do technique, Gu Yongli is immediately stunned. He can only admire him. Let's go to the treasure auction, Qin Yun said with smile. Shao Qin, you have time. You must come to my ancient Dan divine sect. Gu Tianyue said with smile. Definitely, definitely, Qin Yun said. Soon after, they walked out of the large carriage together. Before, Qin Yun also learned about the ancient Dan divine sect from Xiang Yalan and Qin Zhanquang. It is a relatively strong sect. Sect Master Gu Tianyue is in charge of the entire sect's operations and has great authority. However, the most powerful people in the ancient Dan divine sect are those nameless old pill masters. It is said that the old pill masters of the ancient Dan divine sect have lived for 1 or 2 eras. Moreover, the ancient Dan divine sect has a very mysterious thing that attracts powerful inscription pill masters from all over the heavens. Especially after the Divine Desolate was formed, the ancient Dan divine sect expanded even faster. Even Medicine King Qin, Medicine God and Pill God would go to the ancient Dan divine sect from time to time. After entering the heavenly Dao Pagoda, Gu Tianyue directly took the VIP passage and went straight to the treasure auction house. The treasure auction house is located in the underground hall of the Heavenly Law Tower. It is extremely stable and can prevent it from being breached. On the way to the auction house, Qin Yun also understood that the treasure auction is mainly made up of all kinds of ancient treasures collected by the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. Many of those ancient treasures are ancient and some are even damaged due to their age. However, they are relatively powerful divine tools and magic treasures. Some inscription masters collect these primordial magic treasures in order to study the runes from back then, as well as various refining techniques. Then, they combine it with their own situation to create better runes. Therefore, there are many inscription masters participating in the treasure auction. And there are also many alchemists. The main purpose of alchemists is to try their luck and see if there are any ancient treasures that can refine pills and grow medicines. Not long after, Qin Yun and Gu Yongli followed behind Gu Tianyue and arrived at the treasure auction house. The underground hall is very spacious and can accommodate tens of thousands of people without feeling crowded. The moment Qin Yun entered, he knew that the treasure auction house is in a space. Otherwise, with the size of the Heavenly Law Tower, it would be impossible to open up such a large underground palace underground. When Gu Tianyue arrived, many people came over to greet him. It can be seen that his popularity is quite good. The people who came to participate in the treasure auction were all invited. They are all people with status and prestige, and they brought their juniors with them. Granny Cheonghua is here. Someone suddenly shouted. Qin Yun immediately looked towards the entrance and indeed, he saw a woman with a head full of white hair. She wore a light blue robe and slowly walked in with Qin Huayu. Many people hurriedly stepped forward and politely greeted Granny Cheonghua. Many of the young masters present focused their gazes on Qin Huayu. Qin Huayu only wore a simple white dress and followed beside Granny Cheonghua. To be able to come together with Granny Cheonghua, she must be very doted on by her. This meant that her position in the Qin manor was extremely high. Very quickly, someone in the crowd recognized that it was Qin Huayu, the disciple of the medicine god. Just as Granny Cheonghua was being the center of attention, someone suddenly shouted, "The poison god is here!" Poison god! This was a very famous existence in the medicinal pill circle. The poison god grasped very dreadful poisons and also grasped all kinds of detoxification method. After the divine desolate was formed, more and more powerful poisons appeared. If someone was poisoned by a poison that was difficult to detoxify, they could only find the poison god. If even the poison god could not detoxify it, then no one could. Therefore, the poison god's fee for detoxification was very high. As a result, the poison god had many loyal subordinates. Because the people he detoxified had to sign a soul contract to become his subordinate. Some of the poison god's subordinates even had higher cultivation than him. As a result, the poison god had extremely high prestige. His overall strength was very formidable, and he had the thunder god as his backing. Therefore, many people wanted to curry favor with him. When the poison god appeared, even more people went up to greet him. The poison god's limelight momentarily suppressed Granny Cheonghua. And beside the poison god, Qin Yun saw a familiar person. It is that little thunder god. Little thunder god and the poison god came together, and there are many people here who know little thunder god. After all, he is the son of the thunder god. The flower god is here, someone shouted. The moment flower god Xiang Yalan arrived, the entire treasure auction house was filled with a refreshing fragrance. She wore a pink dress, and when they saw her half-covered face with a veil, everyone felt somewhat disappointed. Xiang Yalan brought 2 women with her. One of them is a beautiful woman wearing a red dress, it is Feng Honglan. As for the other woman, she wore a white mask and a ponytail. She wore a capable white outfit and she exuded a cold and sharp aura. When Qin Yun saw the masked woman, his heart trembled. Xiao Yuelan actually came as well. He thought that Xiao Yuelan would go into seclusion for a few days to familiarize herself with the 9-sun divine vein. He never expected that she would take action now. The flower god and the poison god are both gods with divine position. Furthermore, they have extremely high attainments in the field of medicinal herbs. That's why they attracted the attention of many people. The poison god is a middle-aged man with a dark face. His eyes are sunken and gloomy. There is a faint strange smell coming from his body. His hands are black and his nails are purple. No one dares to approach him. In comparison, the flower god has a fragrant body. Although her face is half covered, her beautiful eyes are very beautiful. They are gentle and beautiful with a smile, making it very pleasing to the eye. Dad, you're still too weak. When you came, you weren't even as popular as them. Gu Yongli said with a smile. Of course, if you were a little fatter and your stomach was a little bigger, you might have attracted the attention of many people. Damn brat, don't you know that it's better to keep a low profile? Gu Tianyue scolded with a smile. Qin Yun completely concealed his aura. He wanted to see if Xiao Yuelan could recognize him. The poison god is here and Xiao Yuelan has also come. Clearly, she wants to seek revenge on the poison god. Chapter 21:31. After Qin Yun entered, he began to observe the various exits, as well as the formations and enchantments here. There are many exhibition booths in the treasure hall. Those booths are all sealed with many ancient magic tools and divine tools sealed inside. Many people are watching carefully in front of the booth. Only when the big shots come in would they go over to take a look at the elegance of those big shots. The vast majority of people came here to treasure. Only the heavenly law divine realm can collect so many ancient divine tools and magic tools and attract so many people. As Qin Yun was secretly observing the situation around him, he discovered that Xiao Yuelon is also investigating the situation here. If it was anyone else, they would not dare to make a move in this kind of situation, but Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon dared, because they have the confidence to escape. Poison God is not very strong. The reason why he is so powerful is because he has mastered a very strong poison. Qin Yun said in his heart. He is not afraid of those poisons at all. The reason why Yuelon dared to attack Poison God now is because his cultivation is not high, right? Ling Yuner said, it looks like he is just a great god. His cultivation is close to the heavenly god level. There weren't many powerful people around the god of poison. And those powerful heavenly gods only came over to exchange a few pleasantries with Poison God and then went to observe the ancient treasures. Xiang Yalan brought Xiao Yuelon far away from Poison God and Little Thunder God and casually looked at the ancient treasures. She brought Xiao Yuelon around mainly to let Xiao Yuelon understand the situation here. It seems like Yuelon really plans to make a move here. Qin Yun said in his heart. If she really has such thoughts, then it's best if we work together. This way it will be more stable. Qin Yun followed beside Gu Tianyue and was about to look for Xiao Yuelon when Gu Tianyue suddenly became excited. He looked at a square flower pot in the display cabinet. The display cabinet is a crystal cabinet and has a very strong barrier. If it was forcefully broken, it would cause a great commotion. Gu Tianyue was just a little excited, but he quickly calmed down and shouted to a staff member, I want this thing. He pointed to the square flower pot. Qin Yun looked at the square flower pot. It is bronze in color and there are no runes on the surface, but there are definitely runes inside. The square flower pot is not very big and can be picked up with both hands. Although the surface is bronze, it is rusted and there is nothing special about it. The staff member also opened the display cabinet and took out the square flower pot and said, Sect Master Gu, this thing is worth 20 million. Do you want to buy it? 20 million. Gu Tianyue was stunned. He had thought that it would only be a few million or a few 100,000. At this moment, it attracted the attention of many people. The god of poison was not far away. He caught a glimpse of the square flower pot in Gu Tianyue's hands and quickly walked over. 20 million? I want it. The god of poison came to Gu Tianyue's side and stretched out his pair of black hands with purple fingernails, wanting to snatch the 4 flower pots. Gu Tianyue hurriedly retreated and said, God of poison, you should know the rules, right? I saw this flower pot first. But you didn't buy it, so this flower pot isn't yours. God of Poison smiled coldly and said, I'll buy it for 30 million. The people in the area were alarmed and quickly gathered around. God of Poison and Gu Tianyue were fighting over a flower pot. Even Granny Qianghua came to watch with Qin Huiyu. Xiang Yalan slowly walked over with Xiao Yuelon and Feng Honglan. I bid 35 million. Gu Tianyue snorted coldly. Leader Gu, what do you mean by this? You want to fight with me? The poison god said in a low voice, his gaze cold as he looked at Gu Tianyue. Io, how can you be like this? It was clearly me who wanted to buy this flower pot. It was you who came over to snatch it. Why are you putting the blame on me? Gu Tianyue said somewhat angrily. Leader Gu, can't you just step aside? Little Thunder God said with a sneer. Little Thunder God also spoke. The pressure from the son of Thunder God and the poison god made Gu Tianyue even more infuriated. If Gu Tianyue gave it to the poison god, it would mean that he, the leader of the ancient Dan god sect, was terrified. If word of this got out, it would be very shameful. He is the dignified leader of the ancient Dan god sect. How could the poison god and little thunder god suppress him? Gu Yongli said, "Why can't the poison god give way?" Little thunder god coldly glanced at Gu Yongli and said, "Shut up, is there any place for you to speak here? You can speak, why can't I? I'm a human, aren't you?" Gu Yongli is very unhappy. "Do you know who I am?" Little thunder god is somewhat angry as he glared at Gu Yongli. "Of course I know you are the son of thunder god." Gu Yongli doesn't seem to be afraid of little thunder god at all. Poison god said, "That can only be decided by the heavenly Dao Tower's Tower Master. After all, this thing belongs to the heavenly Dao Tower." Gu Tianyue said with a smile, "No problem, I also know the heavenly Dao Tower Master. I also know the heavenly Dao Tower Master." Poison god sneered. Poison god and heavenly law divine realms heavenly man once besieged Xiaoyuan. It means that their relationship is very good. Everyone is baffled. Why are these two great figures fighting over a broken square flower pot? Qin Yun secretly used his heavenly eye to look at it. He is shocked to discover that inside the flower pot there is a very peculiar rune. If he is not mistaken, it is a very rare time-type rune. It might be a time-divine rune. Qin Yun is astonished. No wonder Gu Tianyue would fight over it. The heavenly Dao Tower Master arrived very quickly. He is a white-robed old man with a face full of wrinkles. After the heavenly Dao Tower Master arrived, he glanced at the poison god. Apparently they are communicating mentally. Qin Yun knows that the relationship between the heavenly Dao Tower Master and the poison god is very good. He immediately thought that they might be conspiring against Gu Tianyue. "You two, you are all my friends. I can't decide who this flower pot belongs to. How about this? I will hold an auction and everyone can participate," the heavenly Dao Tower Master said with smile. "All right, the highest bidder wins, this is the fairest way." Poison god shrugged and said. Little thunder god coldly looked at Gu Yongli. His expression is filled with warning. He is the dignified son of thunder god, yet he was actually insulted by a guy on the spot. Therefore, he is very resentful in his heart. Just now, Xiaoyuan has been quietly watching this scene because the poison god is here and she is very concerned about the poison god. Qin Yun also doesn't know if Xiaoyuan discovered that he is here or not. Just like this, the auction began. Gu Tianyue and the poison god are desperately increasing the price. This is not only to snatch the flower pot, they are also fighting for a bit of face. Not long after, the price has already increased to 300 million. 300 million divine gems was a huge sum even for a big shot. Others are very curious about what kind of flower pot it is, but no one at the scene said anything. At this moment, Xiaoyuan transmitted her voice to Qin Yun and said, "Xiao Yun, is that flower pot worth it? Do you know what kind of flower pot it is?" "Yuan, when did you recognize me?" Qin Yun asked with voice transmission. "When I came in, I knew you were here." Xiaoyuan's charming laughter transmitted into Qin Yun's mind. "Xiao Yun, what are you doing here? Are you here to cause trouble for the poison god? Didn't you promise me that you wouldn't interfere in this matter?" "I came with a friend, Sect Master Gu is my friend. He brought me here to appraise treasures." Qin Yun replied with smile. "Yuan, since the poison god is here, let's join hands and get rid of him. We will act according to the situation and cooperate with each other." "All right, then tell me, what is the use of that flower pot?" Xiaoyuan is also extremely curious. There are time-divine runes inside the flower pot. Growing medicinal herbs inside the flower pot can accelerate their growth. As for how much it can accelerate, I am not sure. Qin Yun also satisfied Xiaoyuan's curiosity. And now, the price of the flower pot has already reached 450 million. The poison god no longer increased the price. Finally, Gu Tianyue bought the flower pot with 450 million. His expression is somewhat unsightly. If not for the poison god's interference, He could have bought it with 20 million, but now he has to spend so many divine crystals unjustly. Qin Yun suddenly suspects that Gu Tianyue and the Heavenly Tao Pavilion Master do not know the use of the flower pot. It is highly possible that the poison god is helping the Heavenly Tao Pavilion Master earn more divine crystals and conveniently confirm the value of the flower pot. If this is really the case, then this treasure society is specialized in ripping people off. Qin Yun secretly suspects. Suddenly, Little Thunder God screamed miserably. His face turned purple, as if he has been poisoned. Then, Gu Yongli, who is beside Gu Tianyue, also screamed loudly. His face is pitch black. He has also been poisoned. They are poisoned, someone shouted in alarm. Gu Tianyue is extremely anxious. He immediately checked Gu Yongli's situation. Granny Qianghua also walked over, took out a few antidote pills and handed them to Gu Tianyue. Everyone is in an uproar. Someone actually poisoned people here. Moreover, in front of Poison God, Granny Qianghua and Gu Tianyue. And the poisoned people are Poison God's Little Thunder God and Gu Tianyue's Gu Yongli. This caused many people to become extremely vigilant. Qin Yun can tell with a glance that the person who poisoned them is Poison God. Poison God's poison level is indeed formidable. He secretly poisoned Gu Yongli. Qin Yun can also see that Little Thunder God's poison is relatively light, it only looks serious. Poison God deliberately poisoned Little Thunder God to avoid suspicion. It is very clear that he colluded with Little Thunder God. Poison God and Heavenly Tao Pavilion Master are very anxious. They checked Little Thunder God's situation. There are always some people who want to challenge my detoxification ability. Poison God's sinister eyes looked all around. He said with sneer, "This kind of small poison is not difficult for me." After speaking, he took out a pill and gave it to Little Thunder God to eat. After Little Thunder God ate it, he quickly recovered. Then he became extremely excited and repeatedly thanked Poison God, saying that Poison God is his savior and so on. Qin Yun can tell with a glance that Little Thunder God is pretending. His poison is not deep at all, it only caused his skin to turn purple and purple liquid to overflow. But Gu Yongli is different. The poison in Gu Yongli's body has already entered his bone marrow. Chapter 21:32. When Gu Tianyue heard God of Poison's words, he glanced at Grandma Qianghua. Grandma Qianghua frowned and shook her head, indicating that there was nothing she could do. Poison God, what do I have to do for you to help me cure the poison? Gu Tianyue asked. He had already realized that he had fallen into the Poison God's trap. However, he couldn't do anything because he didn't have any evidence to prove that this was done by the Poison God, because Little Thunder God was also poisoned. Only now did Gu Tianyue realize that the God of Poison relied on his own poison, his own ability to detoxify, and the support of the God of Thunder, to do as he pleased. This point, the few old fellows present could all see. They all knew that it was caused by the God of Poison. Grandma Qianghua was furious. This was Qin Yao Royal City, the territory of her Qin clan, but the Poison God dared to act so recklessly. Because there was no solid evidence, there was no way to prove that the Poison God did it. Even Grandma Qianghua could do nothing about it. "Just give me that flower pot," God of Poison said. "He saved your son's life, so you gave him the flower pot. That's not a big deal, right? Could it be that your son's life is inferior to that flower pot?" Little Thunder God said. "Sect Master Gu, this is a matter of life and death." The Heavenly Law Tower Lord sighed. At this moment, Qin Yun has already grabbed Gu Yongli's wrist and injected Nether Sun power into it. He dissolved all the poison inside and extracted all the dissolved poison out. This process takes some time. Gu Tianyue finally understood that the Heavenly Law Tower Master and God of Poison were in cahoots. He immediately realized that the God of Poison didn't even know that the flower pot had the Time Divine glyph, and was purposely fighting with him to raise the price, to cheat him of his Sun God crystal. Seeing that he was willing to pay such a high price to buy the flower pot, they also wanted to study the flower pot, so they asked Little Thunder God to cooperate and put on such a show. As long as you give me the flower pot, I can use a pill to help your son recover. Otherwise, he will definitely die. The god of poison said indifferently. His gloomy and dark face carried a sinister smile that was filled with complacency and ridicule. Gu Tianyue had already taken out the flower pot and was about to hand it over when he heard Qin Yun shout, "Wait, there's no need to give it to him. I can cure Xiao Gu's poison." If someone else said this, Gu Tianyue would definitely not believe it. However, the person who said this was an expert. Gu Tianyue had seen how powerful this expert was, so he believed in Qin Yun. Qin Yun is disguised as a bearded middle-aged man. Only Xiao Yuelan can recognize him. Even Granny Qianghua can't recognize him. However, Granny Qianghua was suspicious and was checking Qin Yun carefully. "Big Beard, don't kill Patriarch Gu's son." Little Thunder God sneered and said, "Although that guy is very annoying, it would be a pity if he died." God of Poison sneered and said, "How can the bone-corroding divine poison be so easy to cure? Even for me, I would need to use a very precious antidote pill to cure it." Little Thunder God laughed and said, "Poison God, let him try. Anyway, the one who died was someone else." The Heavenly Law-Building Lord looked at Gu Tianyue and said in a low voice, "Headmaster Gu, quickly give the flower pot to the god of poison, or else your son is dead." Although Gu Tianyue was a fatty and looked relatively easygoing, at this moment, his eyes were cold. He glanced at the Heavenly Law-Building Lord and the others and said in a cold voice, "I believe in this bearded man. This bone-corroding divine poison is a legendary rare poison. My antidote pill has been refined for 49 years and can barely cure this poison. Apart from me, no one can cure this bone-corroding divine poison." God of Poison said very confidently. That was because he was the one who released the poison. Little Thunder God mocked, "If this bearded man can cure this bone-corroding divine poison, I will go eat dog shit." The Heavenly Law-Building Lord shook his head and said, "This bearded man doesn't even need a single antidote pill. How can he cure this poison?" Suddenly, the black-faced and unconscious Gu Yongli slowly opened his eyes. What shocked everyone is that the black poison power under Gu Yongli's skin is gradually fading away. Seeing this scene, Gu Tianyue is extremely happy. He is extremely grateful towards Qin Yun and even more admires this mysterious expert from the lower realm. While everyone is still in shock, Gu Yongli's recovery speed is becoming faster and faster. His complexion quickly recovered and he can already stand up. "You just said that you want to go eat dog shit, you can go now." Gu Yongli looked at Little Thunder God and said with sneer, "A dignified son of Thunder God actually doesn't keep his word." "You!" Little Thunder God looked at Gu Yongli. He is so shocked that he is speechless. Poison God's expression is cold as he looked at Qin Yun. He did not expect that there would be such an expert here who could cure his poison without relying on antidote pill. That guy, it was just a coincidence. Poison God indifferently said, "I gift this flower pot to you." Gu Tianyue handed over the flower pot to Qin Yun. He is truly grateful to Qin Yun. He would rather give the flower pot to Qin Yun than give it to Poison God. Qin Yun said with smile, "Old Gu, you are my friend, there is no need to say thanks between friends. This flower pot has a rare time divine rune. It is very useful for your ancient Dan divine sect. You should keep it for yourself. Time divine rune." Hearing these words, everyone present felt incomparably envious, especially those inscription pill masters. A flower pot with time divine rune means that it is a divine tool that can accelerate the growth of medicinal ingredients. It must be known that there are many precious divine medicines that require thousands of years or even tens of thousands of years to mature. If there is a divine tool that can accelerate time, Maybe it can be shortened to tens of years or even a few years. Heavenly Tao Pavilion Master and Poison God immediately regretted. They have hateful expression. Just as Qin Yun expected, they don't know the use of the flower pot, they only deliberately raised the price to swindle people. They only saw Gu Tianyue spend several $100 million to buy the flower pot, so they wanted to get their hands on it to take a look. Gu Tianyue can be considered to have experienced firsthand what is called a sinister human heart. He secretly rejoiced that he knew such an expert like Qin Yun, otherwise he would have been cheated miserably today. If there is truly a time divine rune, then forget about 400 million, even 4 billion would be worth it, Granny Qianghua said with smile. Sect Master Gu, congratulations on obtaining such a precious treasure. Gu Tianyue laughed loudly and said, I have not come to this treasure gathering in vain. Heavenly Tao Pavilion Master, many thanks for your invitation. Although there are many ancient treasures in the treasure gathering, there are not many precious treasures. Heavenly Tao Pavilion Master's heart is aching to the extreme. He forced a smile on his face and said, Congratulations, Sect Master Gu. Granny Qianghua has already realized that the bearded man is little Qin who just entered the Qin mansion. She really did not expect that little Qin would give her such a big pleasant surprise. His detoxification ability is also so good that he helped Gu Tianyue resolve a crisis. This brother's poison technique is so brilliant. How about we exchange pointers? Poison God's sinister eyes are constantly staring at Qin Yun. Poison God, you are a great god with divine position. This friend of mine is just a little god. Why do you want to exchange pointers with him? Do you feel no shame? Gu Tianyue said with sneer. How do we exchange pointers? Qin Yun asked. You drink a cup of my poisonous wine, you drink a cup of my poisonous wine. If you can't detoxify the poison, then admit defeat. Poison God said. All right. Qin Yun faintly smiled. In the blink of an eye, the treasure gathering has become the fighting poison gathering. Gu Tianyue is somewhat worried about Qin Yun. He secretly advised him, but Qin Yun feels that there is no problem. Because I never thought that I would meet you, Poison God, I also never thought that I would have to compete in poison with Poison God, so I didn't prepare any poison. Can I refine poison on the spot? Qin Yun said. Of course you can. I also want to refine poison on the spot. After all, you are an expert. I also need to properly prepare. Poison God laughed sinisterly. They agreed to spend half an hour to concoct poison. Qin Yun is inside the Nine Sun Divine Soul, using mental power to control tools. He extracted a large amount of poison from inside the heavenly poison grass and put it into the pill transformation heavenly furnace to refine a poison pill. A large amount of heavenly poison grasses poison and then refined into a poison pill by the pill transformation heavenly furnace. The poison power is very dreadful. In less than half an hour, Qin Yun finished concocting a cup of poison wine. Poison God's side also finished very quickly. And next, everyone is incomparably looking forward to it. Everyone knows about Poison God's prestige. His method of using poison to detoxify is incomparably high. And that mysterious bearded middle-aged man's poison detoxification technique is very brilliant. However, no one knows how to use poison. Come, drink this cup of poison wine. Poison God handed over his poison wine to Qin Yun and then took the poison wine concocted by Qin Yun. Everyone present is hiding far away. They are worried that the formidable poison will spread out and cause them to be poisoned. Everyone is very nervous because this poison is very formidable. It can directly turn a person's body into a thick liquid. Drink. Qin Yun drank Poison God's poison wine in one gulp. Poison God also drank Qin Yun's poison wine in one gulp. Qin Yun's poison wine directly passed through his body and flowed into the nether sun. Inside the nether sun, it quickly dissolved and refined. Nothing happened. And after Poison God drank Qin Yun's poison wine, His expression abruptly changed because he is very familiar with heavenly poison grass's poison. The most dreadful thing is that this poison is very dense, incomparably dense. He never knew that heavenly poison grass's poison could be this dense. I lost. Poison God's face is immediately filled with fear. He promptly shouted, "Quickly help me detoxify." Everyone is immediately horrified. Poison God actually lost in a poison competition against someone else. I can help you detoxify, but before that, you must answer me. Who poisoned you with bone-corroding divine poison? Who poisoned little Thunder God? Qin Yun said indifferently, then slowly took out a soul contract talisman and handed it over. Then he said again, "You must answer truthfully and sign the soul contract. Otherwise, you won't live for more than an hour. So long as you answer honestly, I will definitely help you detoxify." Heavenly poison grass's poison is very formidable. The main reason is that the poison power is too dense. Poison God did not have enough time to expel it. Many old men present realized that Poison God secretly plotted against Gu Tianyue. However, there is no evidence. It is impossible to say that it was Poison God's doing. It was done by me, it was all done by me. Poison God is extremely anxious. He did not sign the soul contract and promptly said, "Quickly help me detoxify." Little Thunder God and Heavenly Tao Mansion Master are very shocked. They did not expect that the situation would develop like this. Poison God is actually terrified. Qin Yun took out a saber and ferociously chopped at Poison God's neck. Flame rushed out. At the same time the flame enveloped Poison God's body. Qin Yun also grabbed the God position inside Poison God's body. The flame disappeared. Poison God's head has been chopped off. Everyone present are as dumbfounded as statues. Their faces are filled with horror as they watch Qin Yun slowly and leisurely put away the saber. A little god actually killed Poison God, who has a god position on the spot. You. Little Thunder God looked at Qin Yun. He wants to say something, but he is too scared to say anything. Chapter 2133. When Poison God admitted that he poisoned Little Thunder God and Gu Yongli, everyone was already very surprised. Only those old fellows thought nothing of it because they all know the ins and outs of Poison God. However, what caused everyone to be surprised is that Qin Yun actually took action and directly killed the Poison God. Furthermore, he killed him very smoothly. This is Qin Yao King City. Moreover, it is inside the Heavenly Tao Pagoda. The Heavenly Tao Pagoda Master is on the side. Poison God is a very important subordinate of Thunder God. The poison he controls can force many people to sell their lives for Thunder God. But now, Poison God has been killed by someone. The most inconceivable thing is that Qin Yun's reason for killing Poison God is to avenge Little Thunder God, causing Little Thunder God to be unable to refute. Even Xiao Yuelan did not expect that her little husband would be so straightforward. She originally planned to personally kill Poison God. Gu Yongli admires this big brother Qin even more. If not for there being so many people here, he might have offered his knees and kowtowed. The more Gu Tianyue looks at Qin Yun, the more he feels that Qin Yun is pleasing to the eye. He is thinking of introducing his daughter to Qin Yun. Poison God is lying there. His head is separated from his body. His body is burning with flame. This kind of flame is also very strong, otherwise it would not be able to ignite Poison God's powerful poisonous body. Qin Yun waved his hand and put away Poison God's head. The soul inside has already been sealed. He will not allow Poison God to be reborn. The treasure auction site fell into silence. Heavenly Tao Pagoda Master is incomparably angry in his heart because Poison God is his friend and this is his territory. Yet Qin Yun brazenly attacked. He simply does not put him, the Heavenly Tao Pagoda Master, in his eyes. Poison God is indeed wrong to poison you, but you shouldn't have attacked here. Heavenly Tao Pagoda Master broke the silence and said coldly. Then he secretly transmitted his voice to Little Thunder God, telling him to calm down. After Little Thunder God calmed down, he looked at Qin Yun and said, "It is true that Poison God poisoned me, but as everyone knows, only the Myriad Realms Divine Court has the right to punish gods with divine position. And my father, Thunder God, is in charge of punishment." Heavenly Tao Pagoda Master added, "When divine position gods are punished, the heavenly law divine domain is in charge of supervision. Furthermore, Poison God's crime is not worthy of death. If you attack a god of the Myriad Worlds Divine Court, you will become an enemy of the Myriad Worlds Divine Court." "That's right." Little Thunder God coldly looked at Qin Yun and shouted, "Surrender!" Just as Little Thunder God finished speaking, Qin Yun took a step forward and sent a palm flying towards Little Thunder God's face. Pa! A crisp sound rang out as Little Thunder God was sent flying with a slap. This scene caused everyone to be instantly shocked, and they cried out in alarm. The Heavenly Law Tower Lord's face was filled with shock and anger. He immediately rushed towards Qin Yun. His great God realm divine power gushed out from his body and enveloped Qin Yun. "Old bastard, you are courting death!" Qin Yun furiously shouted and secretly released supergravity to suppress the Heavenly Law Tower Master. When the Heavenly Tao Tower Lord flew over, just as he neared Qin Yun, he was pressed to the ground by the supergravity. When he landed, a large number of tree vines emerged from the ground like claws and wrapped around his legs. Qin Yun shot forward like an arrow. His palm looked like it was holding a violent flame and thunder. His palm scraped the Heavenly Law Tower Lord's face. Immediately thunder and fire splashed everywhere. What shocked everyone is that the Heavenly Law Tower Lord's cheek was directly smashed. His entire head split open and turned into ashes. Bang! The Heavenly Law Tower Lord's body fell down, and everyone felt a chill down their spine. The Heavenly Law Tower Lord was killed inside the Heavenly Law Tower. Granny Qianghua and Gu Tianyue are both heavenly gods, but they do not have Qin Yun's terrifying and overbearing aura. It must be known that after Gu Tianyue knew about Poison God's evil plan, he could not do anything. Although his heart was filled with anger and resentment, he did not dare to attack Poison God. First, it is because the Heavenly Law Tower is the territory of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. Second, Poison God is Thunder God's subordinate from the Myriad Worlds Divine Court. And Qin Yun not only killed Poison God, he also sent Little Thunder God flying and then killed the Heavenly Law Tower Lord on the spot. A little god dares to do things that even heavenly gods do not dare to do and cannot do. The reason why Qin Yun, a minor god, killed God of Poison was because God of Poison was poisoned. But now, the Heavenly Law Tower Lord was not poisoned and was killed in an instant. This is unbelievable. It makes people feel that he is not a true god. The Heavenly Law Tower Lord harbored Poison God. Death cannot wipe out his crimes. Qin Yun coldly said, "The Heavenly Law Tower Lord and Poison God are good friends." The two of them joined hands to deliberately raise the price of the treasures and swindle Sect Master Gu's divine crystals. Furthermore, the Heavenly Law Tower Lord and Poison God want Sect Master Gu to buy the flower pot, so they colluded and poisoned Gu Yongli to force Sect Master Gu to hand over the flower pot. After he said this, everyone immediately understood. Because Poison God personally admitted that he poisoned Little Thunder God and Gu Yongli. Although there are a few heavenly gods present, they are not involved in this matter, so they will not interfere in this matter. These heavenly gods are not stupid, they can see that the bearded man is very powerful. Little Thunder God covered his crooked face, furiously rushed over and yelled, You are finished. My father is Thunder God, he will definitely come to kill you." Qin Yun coldly looked at him. His eyes are filled with killing intent. He rushed over and started punching and kicking Little Thunder God. Little Thunder God screamed miserably again and again, crying for help. No one dared to go help. Poison God and Heavenly Law Tower Lord were killed on the spot. Whoever went to help will definitely be killed. Little Thunder God, you also colluded with Poison God, right? Qin Yun looked at the Little Thunder God who was beaten into a pig head and said with a cold smile, You are dead for sure. Little Thunder God is extremely scared. He suddenly shouted, You are the one who competed in drinking with me? Just as Little Thunder God finished speaking, Qin Yun put him into a storage magic tool and locked him up. Just now, many people wanted to curry favor with Little Thunder God. Now it is a matter of life and death, so no one dared to help Little Thunder God, mainly because they don't have the strength to do so. Qin Yun gives people the feeling that he is a little god, but everyone feels that he is even more dreadful than a heavenly god. That's right, Qin Yun's aura is not something a heavenly god can compare with. This is the aura of Nine Yang Palace King, the divine might of the King of Gods. Qin Yun glanced at everyone and saw that they are all like frightened birds. He suddenly said, Everyone, this Heavenly Law Tower is a shady shop, everyone can see it with their own eyes. Then I will be a good person to the end. Today I will destroy this shady shop, so that no one will be cheated again. Finished speaking, he opened all the display cabinets and took away all the ancient treasures one by one. Heavenly Law Tower's staff have already secretly contacted the Heavenly Law Tower's upper echelons. They also don't dare to stop Qin Yun because stopping him means death. Everyone is once again dumbstruck as they watched Qin Yun collect all the ancient treasures. Moreover, he confidently said that these ancient treasures are swindling people's shady goods and he wants to collect them all. Qin Yun is also taking advantage of this momentum and seeing that no one dares to oppose him. He decided to go all out and loot this place in one go. There are many formation barriers on the display cabinets, but with a wave of Qin Yun's hand, he removed all of them. His technique is very proficient. It can be seen that he is an extremely brilliant inscription master. In just a short moment, all the ancient treasures here have been taken away by him. Everyone, rest assured, I will properly deal with these shady goods so that they don't leak out and harm people. Qin Yun cupped his hands towards everyone and said, Today I was able to kill scoundrels like Poison God and Heavenly Law Tower Master, as well as capture Little Thunder God. Everyone's contribution cannot go unnoticed. None of you blindly tried to stop me, otherwise I would not have been able to accomplish such a magnificent feat. Therefore, everyone has helped me. Punishing evil and exterminating evil is everyone's responsibility. Therefore, today we have killed scoundrels like Poison God and Heavenly Law Tower Master. Everyone has contribution. Everyone is a hero, a true man. Everyone immediately cursed in their hearts. They did not do anything, yet they have been slapped with such a big hat. Qin Yun heartily laughed a few times and said, Everyone, farewell. Finished speaking, Qin Yun directly used Mysterious Penetration divine ability to pass through the top-level barrier and slipped away. Just as he left, a few Heavenly Law Tower great gods came in. Each and every one of them are holding divine weapons and wearing battle armor. However, they arrived a step too late. Boom boom, at this moment, the people in the treasure auction hall felt a tremor. It's going to collapse? Quickly run. Someone shouted in fear. Everyone thought that Qin Yun already ran away, but they did not expect that he is actually smashing the Heavenly Law Tower from above. Everyone hurriedly left the treasure auction house. Their hearts were crumbling. Everything that had just happened was too fantastical to them. Xiao Yuelan took out a soul-chasing talisman and sensed Qin Yun's location. He is in the vicinity. When they went out, they saw that the tall Heavenly Law Tower is already crooked. It will collapse at any moment. The people inside the Heavenly Law Tower can only fly out one after another. Momentarily, the entire area is in chaos. What happened in the treasure auction hall spread like wildfire. In a short while it spread throughout the entire city. This is an incomparably sensational event. The Poison God actually died, Moreover, he died in an extremely sullen manner. First he had a poison contest, then he lost and was poisoned, then he was killed in front of everyone with a saber strike. Furthermore, little Thunder God was taken away. Everyone wants to know who it is that is so audacious that they are openly opposing the Thunder God. This is not only opposing the Thunder God, it is also offending the myriad realms' divine court. Granny Cheonghua is at the scene. She knows that it is Qin Yun. It is not good for her to stop him. And now, she also ordered the entire city to be searched, otherwise other people would say that their Qin clan is not doing anything. She secretly rejoiced that it was done in disguise, otherwise it would not be easy to handle. Gu Tianyue only said that it is a friend he met in the treasure auction. He doesn't know anything about it. In short, he just made up a story to fool them. Gu Tianyue and his son will not reveal Qin Yun's identity even if they die. Because in their eyes, Qin Yun is an existence similar to an otherworldly expert. Not to mention Gu Tianyue and his son, even many people in Qin Medicine King City admire this mysterious big-bearded man. Chapter 2134. Qin Yun opened the door and said with a smile, "Little lady, please come in." Xiao Yuelan promptly flew over and arrived beside Qin Yun. She pinched his arm and said with a smile, "You are really reckless, even more reckless than me." Qin Yun pulled her little hand and entered the wild beheader villa. Qin Zhanquang is here, taking care of the medicinal herbs. He is not surprised to see Qin Yun bring back a woman. Instead, he feels that this is very normal. "Old Qin, you are so diligent," Qin Yun said with a smile. "It's the middle of the night yet you are still so busy." Qin Zhanquang said, "It's all because that bastard Qin Yuda came last time and destroyed a lot of things. I am busy planting new ones." Xiao Yuelan took off her mask and said to Qin Zhanquang with a wild laugh, "Greetings, Grandpa Quang. Girl, you are." Qin Zhanquang saw Xiao Yuelan's exquisite and beautiful face and felt that she is very unfamiliar. She is not the woman from Flower Moon Pavilion he met before. "This is my wife," Qin Yun said with a smile. "Really? Then I will have to properly greet you." Qin Zhanquang is very surprised and said with a smile, "You continue with your work, no need to greet us." Qin Yun said with a smile. Soon after, Qin Yun pulled Xiao Yuelan into his small house. After entering, Xiao Yuelan pinched Qin Yun's waist and said with a smile, "Little husband, we agreed to join hands to kill Poison God, but you did everything. Also, you said you wouldn't interfere." Qin Yun laughed, touched Xiao Yuelan's face and said with a smile, "Yuelan, I am not helping you take revenge, I am just standing up for my friend. You also saw it. Sect Master Gu and his son were tricked by Poison God. Seeing that you did so well this time, I will spare you this time." Xiao Yuelan laughed softly and kissed Qin Yun's face. Qin Yun did very well, even Xiao Yuelan admires him very much. "Yuelan, you are still a bit too inexperienced in this aspect. Your little husband was once awesome. An idiot like Poison God is not even a fart in my eyes," Qin Yun said with a proud smile. "I know you are awesome," Xiao Yuelan said with a smile. She doesn't want Qin Yun to interfere, she is just worried that Qin Yun will be in danger. Xiao Yuelan was very happy when she saw Qin Yun easily kill the Poison God. Qin Yun hugged the beauty and asked, "Yuelan, you familiarized yourself with the 9 Sun Divine Veins so quickly? This is not difficult for me. I am the 9 Sun Divine Maiden," Xiao Yuelan said with a smile. "Yuelan, I have the Sun Seed. Did Sister Kir tell you how I can create Primal Chaos Divine Sun?" Qin Yun asked. "She did mention it to me," Xiao Yuelan said. "I only said that we need her help because she has the Nether Sun Spirit. We will have to wait for her to meet you. My 9 Sun Divine Spirit has absorbed a lot of divine power. I need to coordinate with Sister Kir's 9 Een Divine Spirit to evolve." Unfortunately, Sister Kiru doesn't have the time. Qin Yun sighed lightly. Xiao Yuelan held Qin Yun's hand and said with smile, "It doesn't matter, I can also help your 9 Sun Divine Spirit evolve. Sister Kiru told me the method." "Really? Your 9 Yin Divine Spirit can also evolve?" Qin Yun looked at Xiao Yuelan's wrist. Xiao Yuelan's 9 Yin Divine Spirit was copied by Mu Yu through Xiekiru, but Qin Yun feels that it will not do if it is not the original. "Of course it can. My 9 Yin Divine Spirit is exactly the same as Sister Kiru's, alright?" Sister Kiru said that if my 9 Yin Divine Spirit and your 9 Sun Divine Spirit cooperate, my 9 Yin Divine Spirit can evolve. Her 9 Yin Divine Spirit can also evolve. Xiao Yuelan said. "So mystical? It seems like the 9 Sun Divine Spirit and 9 Yin Divine Spirit have grown to a certain stage. Even I don't understand them." Qin Yun sighed and said, "It must be known that back then, the 9 Sun Divine Spirit and 9 Yin Divine Spirit were created by him. Later on, they grew stronger and stronger, becoming more and more mysterious." Xiao Yuelan said with smile. "Xiao Yun, Sister Kiru also said that if you want to open the 9 Sun Divine Spirit's 7th pearl, you can't do it alone, you need the 9 Yin Divine Spirit. Then let's quickly begin. Qin Yun wants to quickly open the 7th pearl to see what's inside." "Not yet. First, you need your 9 Sun Divine Spirit to evolve to a certain stage. This will take time," Xiao Yuelan said with smile. "Come, I will give it a try now and let the 9 Yin Divine Spirit and 9 Sun Divine Spirit cultivate together." Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are sitting cross-legged on the bed, their hands are tightly clasped together. 9 Sun Divine Spirit and 9 Yin Divine Spirit appeared on their wrists. Ever since the Myriad Realms Divine Sun came out, Qin Yun's 9 Sun Divine Spirit has also changed, it has turned golden. And Xiao Yuelan's 9 Yin Divine Spirit is silvery white. Now it is emitting a faint multicolored light. Yuelan, Mo, and the others are inside the 9 Sun Divine Spirit, it won't affect them, right? Qin Yun asked. "Don't worry, it won't," Xiao Yuelan said. Qin Yun also doesn't know the specifics of how to proceed. This is mainly led by Xiao Yuelan, she will circulate the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. Sun and Moon Heart Sutra has many secret techniques. Because men can't know the secret techniques inside the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, Qin Yun doesn't know anything about it. Qin Yun only felt that the 9 Yin Divine Spirit released a strange energy that entered the 9 Sun Divine Spirit, as if fusing together. As for what changes there are, he is still unable to sense it. After daybreak, Xiao Yuelan's 9 Yin Divine Spirit became much dimmer. "It's daybreak, the moon is not there." Xiao Yuelan looked at her 9 Yin Divine Spirit and said, "I have to wait for the moon to come out before I can cultivate again." Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan cultivated together. Not only can they cultivate their cultivation realm, they can also cultivate the 9 Sun Divine Spirit and the 9 Yin Divine Spirit. After cultivating with Xiao Yuelan for a night, Qin Yun's 7th Divine Profound Tao image also secretly appeared. It is in the shape of a saber. However, he can't clearly see what kind of saber it is, he still needs to continue cultivating. "My 7th Divine Profound Tao image has appeared, it's a saber." Qin Yun chuckled. "That's great, Xiao Yun, you can indeed cultivate 9 Divine Profound Tao images. Wait until all of your Divine Profound Tao images are cultivated and you become Profound God, maybe I won't be able to defeat you." Xiao Yuelan is somewhat depressed, she said with a chuckle. "You have clearly been delayed for 100 years, yet you can still grow so fast. There's really no justice in this." "Don't forget, I am the 9 Sun Palace King," Qin Yun said. "I'm also the 9 Sun Divine Maiden." Xiao Yuelan stuck out her tongue. "Alright, what is that big sister Yueme doing? I miss her. I haven't rubbed her little face in a long time, I really miss her." Qin Yun suddenly felt an itch. He could only rub Xiao Yuelan's face. Big Sister Uma also misses you, but she wants to complete that damned divine maiden mission. Xiao Yuelon curled her lips and said, I also have that divine maiden mission. What are you going to do? I'll help you. Qin Yun said. No, those things can only be done by us. Also, it's quite dangerous. If we encounter danger, we can rely on myriad realms' divine sun and heavenly divine moon to escape, but you can't. Xiao Yuelon's expression is somewhat solemn. She is worried that Qin Yun will act recklessly. All right, then I wish you all the best. Qin Yun nodded. With the protection of myriad realms' divine sun and heavenly divine moon, Qin Yun felt a lot more at ease. Your big sister Shu Yan is coming. Big Sister Master also misses you very much. Xiao Yuelon said with charming smile. When you meet, should I watch from the side? Sister Rujing and Big Sister Star God should be here soon. Qin Yun said. Big Sister Star God is truly a peerless beauty. I miss her very much. Last time I was with her for a few days, it was truly nostalgic. Xiao Yuelon giggled and said. Qin Yun pinched her jade waist, causing her to cry out, and said with smile, Yuelon, you are too bad. Bullying people all day long. But they don't refuse me bullying them. Xiao Yuelon said with evil smile. Suddenly, Qin Zhangquang's excited shout came from outside. Xiao Qin, my grandma is here. Granny Qianghua is here. Qin Yun feels that Granny Qianghua must have come to find him. She immediately opened the door and brought Xiao Yuelon out. Granny Qianghua did not come alone, she came together with Xiang Yalan and Qin Huayu. What made Granny Qianghua speechless is that Qin Yun caused a storm in the city, yet he is hiding here flirting with a very beautiful woman. Hello Granny Qianghua, Qin Yun said with smile. Xiao Qin, this young lady is. Granny Qianghua has seen many beauties. Xiang Yalan and Qin Huayu beside her are very beautiful girls. However, Xiao Yuelon is a bit more beautiful than them. Moreover, she has a different kind of feeling. After all, Xiao Yuelon is the nine-sun divine maiden. Under the illumination of the myriad realms' divine sun, she has a kind of peerless and elegant temperament. Even Qin Huayu's heart is somewhat moved when she saw the smiling Xiao Yuelon. This is my wife, Qin Yun said with smile. A wife? Granny Qianghua said in shock. Hello Granny. I am Yuelon. Xiao Yuelon also politely saluted. Yuelon, this is Qin Huayu, Big Sister Qin. She recommended me to enter the Qin mansion. Qin Yun said again. Hello Big Sister Qin, I am Yuelon. Xiao Yuelon said with smile, then walked over and pulled Qin Huayu's hand. Hello little sister Yuelon. Qin Huayu gently smiled. Xiao Qin, do you know the situation outside? Granny Qianghua suddenly said in low voice. What situation? Qin Yun asked. In one night the entire divine court has been shaken. There is already news that Thunder God will personally come to Qin Medicine King City. Granny Qianghua said. Grandma, what is Thunder God doing here? Qin Zhangquang knows that Grass God and Poison God are doing bad things to him because Thunder God is behind them. Granny Qianghua did not answer Qin Zhangquang's question and said again. Xiao Qin, in the next few days, experts from myriad realms' divine court and heavenly law divine domain will arrive one after another. You must be careful. Otherwise, you can come to Jasper Flower Valley for a few days. Xiao Yuelon said, Granny, can I also go to Jasper Flower Valley? Of course you can. Granny Qianghua said to Xiao Yuelon with smile. Then let's go. Xiao Yuelon went over and pulled Qin Yun. Xiao Qin, you can treat Jasper Flower Valley as your home. If other friends come to find you, I will allow them to enter Jasper Flower Valley. Granny Qianghua said with kind smile. Chapter 2135. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon boarded Grandma Jasper Flower's ship. They could fly directly to Qin Manor and head for Jasper Flower Valley. The person who was ordered to be searched by the Qin's mansion was in Grandma Qianghua's valley. Xiang Yalan followed, and after confirming that Qin Yun was fine, she returned to Flower Moon Pavilion with relief. The Heavenly Tao Pavilion had been beaten crooked and needed to be rebuilt. This also affected the business of the Natural Law Divine Realm. Because of the Medicine King Association, many inscription masters and alchemists have gathered in Medicine King City. When the news of what happened in the Natural Law Divine Realm spread out, it had already affected the dignity of the Natural Law Divine Realm. The property of the Natural Law Divine Realm had been destroyed, and the Natural Law Tower Lord had even been killed in public. This was clearly a provocation to the Natural Law Divine Realm. The Natural Law Divine Realm would send people over, and the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms would also have a huge reaction. The god of poison was a deity throne god who joined the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms. No matter what he did in the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms, only the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms had the right to punish him. However, the god of poison was killed in front of everyone and his head was taken. Thunder God wasn't the only one who was provoked. Even some old-fashioned old fellows of the Divine Court of Myriad Realms were incomparably furious. In particular, many elders of the Elder Cabinet voted to send the forces of the Divine Court of Myriad Worlds to investigate this matter. This was the first time the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms had been provoked like this since its establishment. Therefore, the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms had to establish its prestige through this matter. The Natural Law Divine Realm and the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms could be considered two very powerful forces in the Divine Wasteland. At this moment, they had both sent their experts to the Qin Medicine King City. There was also news that the Thunder God would come personally. After all, his son had been captured. Thunder God had many sons, so the death of one or two was nothing to him. However, his son had been captured, and he had been publicly beaten before being arrested. This was equivalent to an insult to Thunder God. Therefore, Thunder God had to make a trip to Qin Yao King City. Within the Qin mansion, many people were discussing this matter. Little Grass God was also very shocked because Little Thunder God was his big brother. Now, not only was he beaten up, he was also captured. For the past few days, the Little Grass God had been searching everywhere for his father, Qin Yuda. Qin Yuda had already turned into fertilizer and was scattered all over the wild Beheader Mountain Manor's medicinal fields. No matter how the Little Grass Goddess searched, she could not find her father. The person who stirred up a storm was in the core area of Qin's mansion, Jasper Flower Valley. Qin Huayu had always been with Granny Qianghua. She only found out later that the bearded man was Qin Yun. Qin Yun's strength was far more terrifying than she had imagined. Arriving at the Jasper Flower Valley, Qin Yun saw Gu Tianyue and Gu Yongli pacing back and forth in the courtyard. When they saw Qin Yun appear at the door, they immediately walked out and thanked Qin Yun repeatedly. No need to be polite. That guy Poison God has been secretly harming my friend. I have long since wanted to eliminate him. Qin Yun waved his hand and said with smile. Poison God besieged Xiao Yuelan and used a very strong poison on her. Therefore, Qin Yun must kill Poison God. Little Qin, what poison did you use? Even the god of poison can't cure it. Granny Qianghua was very curious. Gu Tianyue was also curious, because they knew that the god of poison was very capable. I refined it using heavenly poison grass, Qin Yun said with a smile. After arriving at Jasper Flower Valley, Qin Huayu brought Xiao Yuelan to stroll around. Qin Yun is somewhat worried that Xiao Yuelan would take advantage of Qin Huayu. Previously, when Xiao Yuelan saw Qin Huayu, the way she looked at Qin Huayu was somewhat special. Gu Tianyue said, Little Qin, don't worry. We, father and son, will not speak of this matter. In order to keep it absolutely confidential, they all signed a soul contract to prevent it from leaking out. Sect Master Gu, take out the flower pot you bought and let us have a look, Granny Qianghua said with smile. Gu Tianyue promptly took out the square flower pot and said, Little Qin, you have plundered all the ancient treasures there, are there any good things? Soon after, Qin Yun also took out a large pile of ancient treasures and said with smile, most of these ancient treasures are trash. The better ones are the flower pot you have your eyes on. When Gu Tianyue bought the flower pot, he paid with sun god crystal cards. There were a total of 5 cards, 4 of them were worth 100 million each and the last one was worth 50 million. Those sun god crystal cards were placed in the storage magic tool of the Heavenly Tao Pavilion Master. That storage magic tool was also obtained by Qin Yun. And Poison God's storage magic tool is also in Qin Yun's hands. Poison God has many poisons and other things, as well as several 100 million divine crystals. They were all obtained by Qin Yun. The ancient treasures were piled up into several small mountains. Gu Tianyue and Granny Qianghua are also choosing to see if there is anything they need. As for Qin Yun, he is studying the square flower pot. He put in the 9 Sun Divine Spirit and handed it over to Mo to see through the time runes inside. There are no time runes on the surface of the flower pot, not even bright runes. The bright runes are hidden inside the flower pot. The carving technique is very brilliant and the dark runes cannot be seen at all. Mo can immediately see through the time runes on the flower pot. They belong to the type of Dao Yen runes and she quickly recorded them down. Qin Yun took out the flower pot and returned it to Gu Tianyue. Did you guys find anything good? Qin Yun asked. Gu Yongli and Gu Tianyue are both picking. Not much can be used but the research value is quite high. It can improve the level of our group of inscription masters. Gu Tianyue said with smile. Little Qin, how about this? I will use 200 million to buy all the ancient treasures here. Qin Yun looked at Granny Qianghua and said with smile. Granny, which one do you like? Take as many as you want, I want to sell them all. Granny Qianghua mainly chose flower pots and vases, or some other things that looked relatively beautiful and sparkling. They all looked like they were made of gems. All right, I want these. Granny Qianghua has obtained a great bargain, she is very happy. Gu Tianyue gave Qin Yun 2 cards that can be exchanged for divine crystals at the Divine Crystal Bank of the Myriad Realms Divine Court. Qin Yun calculated the number of divine crystal cards in his hand. There are 1.2 billion, he can buy many things. Gu Tianyue and Gu Yongli thanked Qin Yun once again before leaving the Jade Flower Valley. There are already a few Heavenly God Pill Masters and Inscription Masters from the ancient Dan Divine sect on the way to participate in the Medicine King Association. Gu Tianyue expressed that if necessary, he would let them help Qin Yun. Thunder God is coming to Medicine King City. After Qin Yun found out about this, he decided to speed up his cultivation and make himself stronger. Xiao Yuelan does not know about the hatred between Qin Yun and Thunder God, but she can sense Qin Yun's killing intent towards Thunder God. At night, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are cultivating inside the floating cloud pagoda. Xiao Yuelan's cultivation is higher than Qin Yun's and Qin Yun is mainly refining Xian E Divine Pill, so Xiao Yuelan's cultivation will not increase much. Apart from this, 9 Sun Divine Spirit and 9 Yin Divine Spirit are also cultivating together. Xiao Yun, are you in a hurry to kill Thunder God? Xiao Yuelan said. He used to be my disciple. He betrayed me together with the Love God. Qin Yun nodded. If possible, I want to kill him in Medicine King City. Xiao Yuelan's expression suddenly became grave. She said, Thunder God is very strong. He is different from Poison God and Grass God. Rest assured, I have a sense of propriety. Qin Yun said with smile. We should quickly evolve the Divine Spirit and see what kind of ability it will have. After one night of cultivation, Qin Yun's 7th Divine Xian Dao image, which is the small saber, became even more clear. What Qin Yun did not expect is that this saber is actually the 9 Desolate Divine Saber. Qin Yun might even become the Nether Spirit Sacred Blade. 9 Desolate Divine Saber. Qin Yun said. Ah? Shao Shi said that in order to repair the 9 desolate divine saber, I will need her blood spirit power. Next time I see her, I will ask her to help me repair the 9 desolate divine saber. Xiao Yuelon said with smile. She has always wanted to see you, she wants you to help her refine the 9 dragon heavenly origin formation. Yu Shi is the 9 Sun royal family's clan emperor, she has the 9 Sun emperor sword. The 9 Sun emperor sword can be split into 9 swords, it can also be combined together. Qin Yun realized that she wants Qin Yun to help her refine the 9 Sun emperor sword into the 9 dragon heavenly origin formation. She said before that she wants Qin Yun to help her refine the sword formation. Inside the Guanghan Palace, Yu Shi has good relationship with Gong Fian and Kong Feiqing. She asked them to help her refine 9 Gemini heavenly runes, she has made ample preparations. Qin Yun has not looked at the 9 desolate divine saber for a very long time. He thought about it and promptly took out a box. He opened the box and saw many divine universe golden stones inside. Ah, so many divine universe golden stones. Xiao Yuelon said in amazement. Secret. Qin Yun said with smile. Alright. Xiao Yuelon giggled. Qin Yun took out the 9 desolate divine saber. After many days of slumber, the 9 desolate divine saber has absorbed a great amount of divine universe power, the blade has already turned golden. Moreover, the 9 desolate divine saber and the mysterious bloodline heavenly rune box have fused together and can be separated at any time. It has recovered very well. Qin Yun held the saber hilt and said, "This saber is very strong, if it recovers to its peak, it will be very easy to deal with primal chaos race. Xiao Yun, if you want to kill Thunder God, don't act alone. Very soon Big Sister Master will arrive." Adding Sister Rujing, the Ice and Snow Goddess, and Sister Star God, we can help you. Xiao Yuelon said. Qin Yun said, I will act according to the situation. If Thunder God is really strong, I can only let him live for a few more days. He won't be able to run away anyways, Xiao Yuelon said with smile. After Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon left the floating cloud pagoda, Qin Huayu promptly ran over. Little Qin, the Medicine King assembly will start in a month, Qin Huayu said. At that time, the Qin imperial clan might have to compete with the other clans. You can be considered a member of our Qin imperial clan. Great-grandmother wants you to join the battle faction. Qin Yun shook his head and said, I won't show myself for now, I am worried that I will expose too much. If Qin family's disciples are no match, I will show myself. Great-grandmother went out because many great people have arrived in Qin Medicine King City. Qin Huayu said. Great people, what kind of great people are there? Xiao Yuelon asked. Pill God and Medicine God have arrived. Qin Huayu said with smile. I originally wanted to go see my master, but great-grandmother told me to stay here. Chapter 2136. Qin Yun was rather surprised to learn that the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is in Qin Yao Royal City. Back then in the sacred Desolate's sun-sacred land, after parting with the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother, he did not think that the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother would be able to accomplish anything in the future. Unexpectedly, the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother successfully entered the Divine Desolate and became a Divine Heavenly Mother. As for her current status, Qin Yun is not clear. Since the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is here, Qin Yun wants to meet her and understand the situation of the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. Qin Yun is not worried that the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother will betray him. Firstly, he signed a soul contract with the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother. Secondly, the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother was heavily bullied by the Heavenly Law Divine Realm back then. If she had not met Qin Yun, she might have been sacrificed by the Heavenly Law Divine Realm to destroy the Primal Chaos Divine Sun in the Sacred Desolate. Therefore, the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is loyal and devoted to Qin Yun. Furthermore, she knows that following Qin Yun is very promising. Sister Huayu, do you know how strong those Heavenly Mothers are? Xiao Yuelon asked. I want to see them. I haven't seen the Heavenly Mother before. I heard that when the Heavenly Mother appears, the commotion is very big. I heard that one is a heavenly god and the other is a great god, Qin Huayu said with smile. The ostentation of the Heavenly Mother is indeed very scary. However, the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother is an exception. She is rather low-key and has no heavenly beings accompanying her. Xiao Yuelon said with smile. Then do you know where they are? I want to see if they are beautiful or not. Yuelon, they are definitely not as good-looking as you. Qin Huayu chuckled. Just look at yourself in the mirror, why are you looking at them? I'm just curious. Xiao Yuelon touched Qin Huayu's face and said with a charming smile, Sister Huayu, you are also very beautiful. Qin Yun pulled Xiao Yuelon and asked, Yuelon, what are you planning? Why are you meeting those Heavenly Mothers? I just want to see the beauty of the Heavenly Mother, Xiao Yuelon said with a smile. What, only you men are allowed to look at beauties and we women are not allowed to? Qin Yun is convinced. He can tell that Xiao Yuelon wants to kidnap a Heavenly Mother. Then I'll go find great-grandmother and ask about the Heavenly Mother, Qin Huayu said. I also want to see the Heavenly Mother. After Huayu left, Qin Yun patted Xiao Yuelon's butt and said with smile, What are you planning? I just want to capture a Heavenly Mother to be my servant. Xiao Yuelon smiled tenderly and said, I've been in the Heavenly God Desolate for so long, but I've heard many legends about Heavenly Mother. They are all aloof and incomparably respected. I want this kind of follower. You truly dare to dream. Remember, don't act recklessly, those Heavenly Mothers are not easy to deal with. Qin Yun warned. Love God is Heavenly Mother Loveless Avatar. I heard she is very beautiful, Xiao Yuelon said. Heavenly Mother Moai is only beautiful as the avatar of the Love God. Heavenly Mother Moai herself is nothing special. I have seen a few Heavenly Mothers, most of them are old, Qin Yun said. Qin Yun and the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother have a contract. He cannot tell anyone about their cooperation, so he cannot tell Xiao Yuelon. Let's hurry up and cultivate, don't think about messing around all day. Qin Yun pulled Xiao Yuelon and entered the floating cloud pagoda. Xiao Yuelon seems to have made up her mind to capture a Heavenly Mother. Qin Yun is worried that she will cause some trouble. The Heavenly Mother of the Gods Desolate was very strong. Qin Yun wants to quickly become stronger and get rid of Thunder God as soon as possible. Although Lu Yu Shuyan, Xian Rujing and Star God will do something, he does not want them to participate in this matter. The main reason is that the three of them have God position and are in the Myriad Realms Divine Palace. If it was known that they participated in killing Thunder God, not only would they not be able to stay in the Myriad Realms Divine Palace, they would also be hunted down by the Myriad Realms Divine Palace. At that time, it might even implicate the entire Divine Moon World and cause the Divine Moon World to be besieged by many powers. Because the Primal Chaos Realm also participated in the construction of the Myriad Realms Divine Palace. Qin Yun is very afraid of the Primal Chaos Realm. He even suspects that the Heavenly Law Divine Domain has joined hands with the Primal Chaos Realm. Otherwise, Poison God, Primal Chaos Realm and Heavenly Law Divine Domain wouldn't have joined hands to besiege Xiao Yuelon. As for the specific situation, Qin Yun needs to see the Imperial Sound Heavenly Mother to understand it clearly. 9 Sun Divine Spirit and 9 Yin Divine Spirit's cultivation speed is very fast, causing Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon to be somewhat surprised. It seems like I have awakened my ability. Qin Yun suddenly sensed that the 9 Sun Divine Spirit on his wrist is frantically absorbing the energy of the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. Xiao Yuelon nodded and said, I have successfully awakened my ability. Let me see what kind of ability my 9 divine spirit has. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan closed their eyes to check the ability of the divine spirit. A shield, Qin Yun said in astonishment. A very strong shield. Xiao Yuelan said, Sun Heavenly Shield. Are our abilities the same? Qin Yun said as he controlled the 9 Sun Divine Spirit to release the Sun Heavenly Shield. The Sun Heavenly Shield is circular and emitted intense multicolored light. After it was released, it looked like a sun. Not only does it have a very strong defense, it also has a very dazzling scorching light. Yuelan, attack me. Qin Yun clenched his fists and let the Sun Heavenly Shield on his wrist continue to release energy. My eyes hurt a little. Xiao Yuelan had no choice but to close her eyes. Even if she used her mental power to sense it, her perception is very vague. However, she still punched Qin Yun's Sun Heavenly Shield. Boom! With a punch, Qin Yun was forced to retreat. He is secretly astonished at Xiao Yuelan's divine power, it is actually so powerful. And the Sun Heavenly Shield also erupted with a very strong defensive power, blocking Xiao Yuelan's punch. Moreover, a burst of intense light and raging flames burst out. Not bad, the defense is very strong, Xiao Yuelan said with a smile. Qin Yun promptly put away the Sun Heavenly Shield and said, I need to store up power. Just now, I released it not long ago and my power is almost exhausted. The 9 Sun Divine Spirit is also absorbing the power of the myriad realms Divine Sun to replenish itself. If his 9 Sun Divine Spirit had enough energy, it would be able to release it for a longer time. To be able to block a powerful attack from a heavenly god, there shouldn't be any problem. Xiao Yuelan said. If we face the Thunder God, it will be very useful. Qin Yun said with a smile. I wonder if this ability is bestowed by the sun. There are 9 pearls, a total of 9 abilities. Xiao Yuelan said. Let's continue. Qin Yun ate a Xian Wing Divine Pill and continued to sit cross-legged on the soft cushion with Xiao Yuelan. Their palms are tightly pressed together and they continue to cultivate together. The time needed to activate the second ability of the 9 Sun Divine Spirit is much longer than before. After Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan cultivated together, they quickly sensed it. They feel that the second ability will definitely be more powerful, so it will take a longer time. Medicine King City is becoming more and more lively because more and more important people are arriving. Some are here to participate in the Medicine King Association. Some are here to investigate the death of the Poison God. The Thunder God of the Myriad Realms Divine Court will definitely come. As for when he will come and whether or not he will come in a high-profile manner, no one knows. The death of the Poison God caused a commotion in the Myriad Realms Divine Court. Therefore, the Myriad Realms Divine Court sent several gods to investigate. One of them is the Dog God. He has a very strong sense of smell. Not only is he sensitive to smell, he is also extremely sensitive to remnant divine power aura. The other one is even more formidable, he is a mind god. The mind god inheritance has a very strong mind reading technique. If someone is suspected, they will be interrogated by the star god and they will know if they are lying or not. The cultivation of these 2 gods is not high but their abilities are very strong. Of course, in order to protect these 2 gods, the Myriad Realms Divine Court also sent the Great Strength God and the Ox God, these 2 formidable gods. Qin Huayu returned, she told Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan about this matter. It seems like the Myriad Realms Divine Court is getting serious. Xiao Yuelan said. The Great Strength God and the Ox God are both very strong gods, they are both battle maniacs. Qin Yun said with a smile. I am not afraid. He did not expect that the Great Strength God Shiman Dazhuang and his Shiman family would actually come to capture him. Qin Yun also doesn't know if the current Great Strength God is the one he knew back then or not. If it is, then it will be easy to deal with. Back when he was the king of gods, his relationship with those gods was very good. He knew the dog god and the mind god back then. If their god position has already been passed down, then they also wouldn't know Qin Yun. Shao Qin, great-grandmother, has listed you as one of our Medicine King Qin's 5 young disciples. I am also one of them. Qin Huayu said. Qin Yun said with frown, included? Don't tell me you want me to go out and compete with other races? She said that you don't need to do anything unless we are all defeated. Qin Huayu lightly groaned and said, Little Grass God was defeated by you, but he kept saying that I am not worthy. He even spoke ill of me everywhere in the Qin mansion. Let's go, take me to teach him a lesson. Xiao Yuelon saw Qin Huayu being wronged and immediately became very angry. I want to smash his mouth. Yuelon, don't act recklessly. Qin Huayu promptly pulled her and said, Little Grass God's father is very powerful. Xiao Yuelon knows that Qin Yuda has already been killed by Qin Yun. Qin Yun said, Yuelon, there will be a chance to teach that guy a lesson. Shao Qin, the other 3 young Qin family disciples will arrive here very soon. Don't worry, they are all very easy to talk to. Qin Huayu said, Not like Little Grass God. Grandma Qianghua returned. She brought 3 very young men with her. Qin Yun is somewhat astonished because those 3 young men are all great gods. Grandma, you stuffed me in, this isn't too good. Qin Yun said in low voice. He is now only a god. If he revealed his formidable strength in front of a great god, he would definitely be exposed. You and Qianghua don't need to fight, it's just pill runes. Grandma Qianghua said with smile. Qin Fei, these 3 are the youngest geniuses of our Qin medicine royal family, you should get to know each other. Chapter 2137. The mother of Qin Zhangquang's 3 sons is not the main wife, but their aptitude is very good. Coupled with Qin Zhangquang's hard work, they are highly valued by their elders. Later on, the Qin family began to focus on nurturing them according to their talent. These 3 brothers look a bit similar to Qin Zhangquang. They all look rather vigorous. Their names are also very interesting. They are called Qin Chuan, Qin De and Qin Liang. These names were all given by Qin Zhangquang. At that time, Qin Zhangquang did not think too much about it and just gave them this kind of name. It looks very casual. However, he did not expect that these 3 brothers would later become the most talented among Medicine King Qin's little great-grandchildren. Qin Yun and the 3 brothers chatted very well, especially when talking about Little Grass God. They all hate Little Grass God very much. Qin Huayu is their cousin. They usually take care of Qin Huayu. Qin Zhangquang's 3 sons are more proficient in fighting. They have no interest in growing flowers or medicine. Therefore, when the time comes to spar with other races, fighting will be left to the 3 brothers. As for pill refining, Qin Yun and Qin Huayu will be in charge. While Qin Yun and others are chatting in the courtyard, the elder Niu suddenly arrived. The elder Niu is an expert guarding outside Jasper Flower Valley. He usually has something to report when he comes. Dog God and Mind God are here, the elder Niu said in low voice. Only the 2 of them came, Great Strength God and Ox God did not come. Qin Yun and Grandma Qianghua are alarmed. For Dog God to come here, it is very likely that he discovered something. They want to enter Jasper Flower Valley. What's the matter? Grandma Qianghua asked. They only said that they want to pay a visit to Grandma Qianghua, the elder Niu said. They shouldn't be doing anything, otherwise they wouldn't be acting alone. Grandma Qianghua said with frown. I don't have any dealings with them, why would they come to visit me? The elder Niu said. Then I will go send them away. Wait. Let them come in, bring them to the bamboo garden. Grandma Qianghua glanced at Qin Yun. Qin Yun just sent her a sound transmission, telling her to let Dog God and Mind God in. After the elder Niu left, Grandma Qianghua immediately went to the bamboo garden. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon also followed. There are many bamboos in the bamboo garden, there is a pavilion in the middle, there is a stone table and stone benches. Not long after, Uncle Nyo brought 2 middle-aged men over. Seeing the 2 middle-aged men, Qin Yun knew that they were not Dog God and Mind God. The Dog God had a fat head and big ears. He had a big belly and didn't look like a Dog God at all. If he was a pig god, no one would doubt it. Mind, on the other hand, was very, very skinny and short. It made people feel that the Dog God's stomach could contain Mind. These 2 gods were only great gods. In the myriad world's divine court, there were many gods who had just succeeded their positions. This was because the older batch of gods wanted to roam the God-desolate heavens. They didn't want to stay in the myriad world's divine court. After the Dog God and the Mind God arrived, they sat on the stone bench. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan went over and poured tea for them. "I'm sorry that you came to visit me instead of tracking down Big Beard," Grandma Qianghua said with a smile. "Grandma Qianghua, we came to Qin Yao Royal City and went to the Heavenly Dao restaurant to take a look. Then we ate and drank all day and didn't investigate at all." Dog God chuckled and said, "That's right, I'm really a dog god, not a pig god." Grandma Qianghua said with a smile, "Dog God, you really know how to joke. Big Beard is someone that the myriad world's divine court and heavenly law divine realm want to capture. Thunder God is also looking for him. Won't you be blamed for being idle?" A smile appeared on Mind God's thin face. "Grandma Qianghua, Big Beard is in your Jade Flower Valley, so we don't think there's any need to continue investigating." Grandma Qianghua, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan's expression suddenly changed. A wave of austere aura surged out. "Wait!" Dog God's fat face is filled with smile. Let's talk, let's talk. Can't you see the smile on our faces? This shows our attitude. We didn't bring great strength and old bull, it means we don't want to fight. What's more, we are not good at fighting," Mind God promptly said with smile. Grandma Qianghua's expression eased up a lot. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan almost made a move just now. Both of them look very young, but they put a lot of pressure on Dog God and Mind God. "You really have ability," Grandma Qianghua said with smile. "Old Dog has ability, otherwise he wouldn't have been fed so fat." Mind God laughed and said. Dog God patted his stomach and said with smile, "There's no other way, people always give me a lot of food, if I don't eat, I'll be sorry for my stomach." "Then you want me to feed you?" Grandma Qianghua is still smiling, but her eyes are somewhat cold. No, we don't mean that." Dog God promptly waved his hand and said, "I don't dare to think about it, otherwise I will lose my dog life here." Dog God glanced at Qin Yun and said, "Grandma Qianghua, can you let me have a few words with this Big Beard brother?" Qin Yun has no beard on his face, but Dog God knows that he is that Big Beard guy. "Alone?" Grandma Qianghua said coldly. "Yes." Dog God nodded. "No way." Grandma Qianghua refused. "It's fine, I'm not afraid of him," Qin Yun replied. "All right then." Grandma Qianghua thought about it. Even Poison God has been killed. This Dog God's battle prowess is below 5. He will be even easier to deal with. Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda and placed it beside the pavilion. Seeing the floating cloud pagoda, Dog God and Mind God's eyes are filled with shock. Then they looked at each other. "Come in," Qin Yun said to Dog God, and then entered the floating cloud pagoda. Dog God also entered the floating cloud pagoda. After entering, Dog God immediately bowed and said, "Greetings, Divine King." Qin Yun is startled. He is not surprised that Dog God knows that he is the God King, but Dog God actually knows that he is the God King. "I don't know you," Qin Yun said. "My grandfather knows you. Your God King aura has always been following Dog God's position. I noticed it when I entered the city." Dog God promptly said. "How is your grandfather?" Qin Yun asked. "Luckily, he went to roam the God-desolate land and passed this Dog God's position to me." Since childhood, I have heard many things about God King from him. Grandfather knew that God King would return, so when he passed on his position to me, he forced me to sign a soul contract and swear loyalty to God King. What about Mind God? Qin Yun looked at Mind God outside. He and I have known each other since childhood. His grandfather was the former Mind God. Just like me, he signed a soul contract and pledged loyalty to God King. Dog God said. Qin Yun let out a long sigh. I didn't expect that they would still remember me after I left God desolate for so many years. Don't talk about loyalty or not, your grandfather was my friend back then, now you are also my friend. God King's spirit is truly not something that bastard Thunder God can compare to. In Myriad Realms' divine court, Thunder God did not even consider us as gods. Dog God is very angry talking about Thunder God. Did Thunder God attack you? Qin Yun asked. And he told Poison God to poison me and Mind God. Luckily my nose is very sensitive, otherwise I would have already been poisoned. Although we are not very strong in Myriad Realms' divine court, we are still very capable. We are very important in Myriad Realms' divine court. Thunder God doesn't dare do anything to us. Dog God said. Then do you know the situation of Pill God and Medicine God? Did they submit to Thunder God? Qin Yun has always wanted to know the situation of his two old friends. I don't know, I don't think so. We can't say, after all we can't contact them, we also don't dare investigate them. Dog God shook his head. Qin Yun patted Dog God's shoulder and said with smile. It seems like I have to be very careful, I actually left some traces and let you discover me. Dog God laughed and said, God King was too careless this time. Little Grass God came to find us and told us that Jasper Flower Valley is the main clue. Back then, Little Grass Goddess had seen her father, Grass Goddess, being defeated by Qin Yun. What about Little Grass God? Qin Yun asked. We captured him. He is a member of Qin family. God King, please don't tell Granny Jasper Flower about this. Dog God said in low voice. It's fine, Grass God was also killed by me. Qin Yun said with smile. Ah? No wonder Little Grass God asked us to help him find his father, so he has already been killed by God King. This is great. I have long since hated this grass dog. Dog God laughed loudly and said. Seeing that Heart God and Dog God are his people, Qin Yun is very happy in his heart. Qin Yun said, Dog God, can you help me? Help me find Space God. The Dog God's expression changed. God King, the spatial God isn't easy to find. He fought with the God of Lightning and the God of Love, and then he disappeared. If he isn't in the desolate space, then I won't be able to find him. I hope old brother is safe and sound. Qin Yun let out a long sigh. Thunder God has already arrived at Qin Yao Royal City. I will tell him that Big Beard has escaped from the city. Dog God said. What about Great Strength God and Ox God? Will they give themselves away? Qin Yun asked. Relax, they are our good brothers, there won't be any problem. When the time is right, I will let them come pay respect to God King. Dog God said. Qin Yun walked back and forth a few steps. He is thinking about something and then asked. Do you think the current me can kill Thunder God? You can't. Dog God immediately replied. Thunder God is very strong, he has concealed himself deeply. Moreover, he is very close to Primal Chaos World. He has obtained the support of both Primal Chaos World and Heavenly Law Divine Domain. Qin Yun guessed that Primal Chaos World must be supporting Thunder God from behind, otherwise Thunder God would not have jumped up like that. When it comes to the mysterious and formidable Primal Chaos World, Qin Yun must be very cautious. Therefore, he must avoid involving Xian Rujing and others. Before Guang Han Palace's Divine Moon World develops, Primal Chaos World must not target it. After Qin Yun and Dog God finished their discussion, they left Floating Cloud Pagoda so that people outside won't be worried. Seeing them come out with smiles on their faces, Grandma Cheonghua and Heart God let out a sigh of relief. Grandma, you can rest assured. Chapter 2138. Granny Cheonghua felt relieved hearing Qin Yun say that. Although she doesn't know how Qin Yun negotiated, he must have his own way. After Mind and Dog Deity left, Granny Cheonghua didn't ask anything because she already knew that Qin Yun is not an ordinary person. Qin Huang and Qin Dan King will arrive soon. They will bring their outstanding young disciples, Granny Cheonghua said. Is Clan Emperor not coming? Qin Yun asked. No, Clan Emperor won't easily show himself, Granny Cheonghua shook her head and said. Afterwards, she arranged for Qin Tiao, Qin De, and Qin Liang, the three brothers, to make further preparations and cultivate through the night. Moreover, Granny Cheonghua is personally training them. It seems that Medicine King Qin attaches great importance to this Medicine King Assembly. Qin Yun only knows that the Medicine King Assembly is an event for Qin Imperial Clan to display their strength, to show their unity and strength. The Emperor clans of Divine Desolate are not united, only Qin Imperial Clan can unite. Qin Yun guessed that this Medicine King Assembly is very likely to be secretly promoted by Qin Imperial Clan Emperor. It is to display the power of unity and unite the other Emperor clans. Clearly, Qin Imperial Clan Emperor has the ambition to unify the Emperor clans. Divine Desolate is the beginning of a great era. If one wants to stand firm, one must have sufficient strength. A mere Qin Imperial Clan was simply too insignificant before colossi like the Divine Court of the Myriad Realms and the Heavenly Law Divine Realm. If it is the entire Emperor Clan and many Dragon Clans gathered together, they cannot be underestimated. Granny Cheonghua is training the three brothers while Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are cultivating inside the floating cloud pagoda. Xiao Yun, my Xiao Imperial Clan is like a sheet of loose sand. I am very envious of your Qin Imperial Clan. Xiao Yuelan said. Yuelan, you are my wife. You are also a member of Qin Imperial Clan. Qin Yun said with smile. I want to unify Xiao Imperial Clan with UMA. I need your help. Xiao Yuelan looked at Qin Yun and said in low voice. It was not that easy to unite the entire Xiao Imperial Clan. However, Qin Yun feels that Xiao Yuelan can do it. He also thought that maybe 9 Sun Royal Clan can reappear in Divine Desolate. The 9 young royal families' tribe Tharch was Yu Shi. Although she was the only one, she had the orthodox inheritance, and the 9 young Tharch sword was in her hands. Qin Yun did not think 9 Sun Royal Clan could rise, but now it is different. Because Myriad Realms Divine Sun Royal Clan has appeared, maybe Myriad Realms Divine Sun Royal Clan will support 9 Sun Royal Clan. Alright, I will help you, Qin Yun said. Yuelan, make a good plan. I can let Aunt Xiao plan this matter. She is more experienced than me in this matter. I will be responsible for putting in the effort and she will be responsible for coming up with a plan. Xiao Yun, you just need to come up with some pills and help me rope in people. Xiao Yuelan smiled. Imperial clans, Imperial Emperor clans, Imperial clans, Emperor clans, families, emperors, Yun said. Other than the Qin Imperial Clan, the other clans are in a state of disunity. Even their clan emperors have given up on themselves. Dragon clans, Emperor clans, my father and other clans' emperor is Tian clan is Yun's Yun. As for Dragon race, I hope my father and the others will do their best. Qin Long is from Qin Imperial Clan but he is also from Dragon race. Qin Long, Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor as well as Divine Universe Ice Dragon are all in Dragon race. As long as 3 clans are willing to unify, other clans will definitely join. Maybe 2 clans will be enough. Xiao Yuelan said. Qin Yun said with smile, let's work hard together. They can also sense Qin family emperor's ambition to rise again, that's why they are infected. Within Divine Desolate, they are too insignificant. Only by uniting together can they resist those powerful and barbaric powers. After Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon cultivated for a night, they left Floating Cloud Pagoda and went to Grandma Qionghua's house. They are waiting for Grandma Qionghu in a large hall. Qin Huayu is also here, waiting with them for the three brothers to shoulder the burden. Not long after, Grandma Qionghu arrived, but the three brothers did not. Where are the three brothers? Qin Yun asked. They went to meet Qin Huawang and Pil Monarch Qin. This time, our Qin Imperial clan will send out 10 young disciples. Our Medicine King Qin will choose 5, Pil Monarch Qin and Qin Huawang will choose 2 each. They will only choose 4 in total. Qin Huayu said, How can it be like this? Logically speaking, they should send out 5 people. Grandma Qionghu shook her head and said, Originally, they chose a good person, but an accident happened and they couldn't make it in time. Therefore, we can only choose 1 more person. 8 people are good at fighting, 2 people are good at alchemy and inscription. That's enough. Grandma Qionghu said. Xiao Yuelon's beautiful eyes turned, she said with smile. Grandma, my husband is a disciple of Qin Imperial clan, that means I am also a disciple of Qin Imperial clan. I will fight. Yuelon, can you do it? Grandma Qionghu asked. Why not? Xiao Yuelon walked over, pulled Grandma Qionghua's arm and said with smile, I am very strong. Grandma Qionghu and Qin Huayu don't know Xiao Yuelon's cultivation. They thought that she is at most profound god. And now, Xiao Yuelon released Great God's power, causing Grandma Qionghu and Qin Huayu to be endlessly shocked. Yuelon, so you're so strong, and you still call me Big Sister? Qin Huayu said with a smile. He calls you Big Sister Qin, so you are also my big sister. Xiao Yuelon giggled. Yuelon, you can represent the Qin Imperial clan. Letting you fight will show that our Qin family values the women who marry into the Qin family. Grandma Qionghu said with a smile. The person she married into the family was also so strong. This could indeed bring glory to the Qin family. After that, Granny Qionghu brought Qin Yun, Qin Huayu and Xiao Yuelon to another area of Jasper Flower Valley. There is a large hall here. After approaching, Qin Yun felt 3 very powerful auras. Medicine King Qin, Alchemy King Qin, and Fire King Qin are only heavenly gods. It seems like the seniors of the divine desolate heavens have been unable to break through and are stuck at the heavenly god realm. Qin Yun thought. Above the great gods were the Empyrean gods. There were more great gods, but the Empyrean gods were getting fewer and fewer. And if a heavenly god broke through again, they would become a saint god. When Qin Yun was the king of gods, he was the sacred god. The god of love and the god of thunder had only been heavenly gods back then. Now they are about to become sacred gods. In Qin Yun's 2 lives as the Nine-Yang Palace King and the King of Gods, the strongest was only the sacred god realm. There are definitely even higher realms above them. The people of the primal chaos realm can reach those higher realms. Now that the divine desolate heavens has appeared and the myriad realms' divine sun has been born, it is very likely that it will be easier to break through than back then. After entering the main hall, 3 extraordinary-looking old men are sitting at the head of the hall. Although they look very benevolent, they faintly emit a kind of dignified aura. After all, they are one of the 10 kings of the Qin Imperial clan. They are also powerful heavenly gods. The 3 kings of the Qin Imperial clan are all here. Medicine King Qin looks rather scholarly, gentle and benevolent. Fire King Qin is rather robust. He is wearing flame armor and his thick eyebrows look like they are burning with flames. Although he has a smile on his face, he still has a very powerful aura. Pil King Qin is wearing a long robe. His long and thin face is somewhat stiff, but his expression doesn't seem to make people feel fear. These 3 old men are the 3 kings of the Qin Imperial clan. The 3 brothers are also sitting at the side. Apart from them, there are 2 men and 2 women. The The men are handsome and confident, the women are beautiful and moving. These 2 men and 2 women were brought by Pill King Qin and Fire King Qin. We are all on the same side, no need to be so courteous. Medicine King Qin saw people come in and promptly said with smile, "After all, they are elders, I have to greet them." Qin Yun said with smile. Then, Qin Huayu and Xiao Yuelan greeted the 3 kings and reported their names. Soon after, Granny Qianghua brought up the matter of Xiao Yuelan's participation. The 3 kings did not object, they are even very happy. The smile on Qin Fire King's face suddenly disappeared, and he said with grave expression, "This time, you 10 youngsters are shouldering a heavy responsibility. Fire King, aren't we just exchanging pointers with other races and sects?" Granny Qianghua said with frown, "Why are you shouldering such a heavy responsibility? It's not a simple exchanging pointers." Qin Fire King said, "The reason why we don't have enough people is because we were too impulsive. We probed the strength of primal chaos race and heavenly beings, causing many people to be injured." Pill King Qin said, "They want to compete with primal chaos race." This caused Qin Yun to feel shocked in his heart, but at the same time, he is also incomparably looking forward to it. Why are we exchanging pointers with people from primal chaos realm? Why didn't you tell me before? Granny Qianghua said with a worried expression. Qianghua, let's put it this way. The Medicine King Assembly is a gathering for our Qin Imperial clan to display our strength to all the other powers. Regardless of winning or losing, we must appear united, otherwise our Qin Imperial clan will be torn apart like a plate of loose sand. Medicine King Qin said. The reason why the various clans of the Imperial clan are unable to unite is not only because of internal factors, there are also external factors. Some people are worried that our Imperial clan will unite. After all, our Imperial clan once dominated the 9 Desolate, there was once an era of Imperial clan. Pill King Qin said. Our Qin Imperial clan must set an example, we must endure all kinds of pressure, gather our strength and not fear strong enemies. Qin Fire King sighed. This time's Medicine King Assembly, some people are secretly colluding to tear apart the Qin Imperial clan. Moreover, it will start from Medicine King City. A youngster said, Then why do we still need to hold the Medicine King Assembly? Wouldn't it be fine if we don't hold it? We must hold it because regardless of whether we hold it or not, they will take action. Therefore, we must use this time's Medicine King Assembly to see which powers are worth paying attention to. Moreover, all the Imperial clans are watching to see if our Qin Imperial clan can still unite or not. Medicine King Qin said. Apart from Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan, all the youngsters present are feeling great pressure because they feel that if they lose, the Qin Imperial clan will be torn apart. Chapter 2139. The older generation will also secretly confront each other. The Qin Imperial clan is facing such a grim situation, this caused Qin Huayu and the other younger generation to feel even more pressure. What's the point of them probing our strength? We are only youngsters, we shouldn't be afraid of them. A Qin family woman asked. What they want to do is to let the other clans see that our Qin Imperial clan is only SOSO when united. First, it can deal a blow to our Qin Imperial clan's confidence. Second, it can make the other clans completely give up on the idea of unity. Qin Yaowang said. The elders want us to show unity no matter what. Does this mean that we will lose miserably? Qin De asked. Qin Huang and the other 2 elders only slightly shook their heads and did not directly answer. Granny Qianghua said with smile, Everyone be a bit more confident. You will definitely perform very well. Qin Yun thought of something else and asked, Why are they so afraid of us uniting? This is not as simple as the rise of an imperial clan, right? The 3 kings looked at each other, they are somewhat surprised. Because Qin Yun asked such a question, it is clear that he knows something. Our imperial clan has half of the 9-son royal family's bloodline. Normally, we need to merge with the dark royal family to have a complete bloodline. However, after the myriad realms' divine son appears, our imperial clan might be able to restore our bloodline, Qin Huang said. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. He previously felt that after the myriad realms' divine son appears, the 9-son royal family will most likely reappear in the 9-son heavenly domain. He was only guessing, he did not expect it to be true. Xiao Yuelan is also secretly excited and asked, Myriad realms' divine son can help restore the 9-son bloodline, is there any condition? Clan Emperor received the divine son's instruction that the new 9-son royal family will be divided into 9 clans. As for how they will be divided, it is still unclear. If we want to obtain the myriad realms' divine son to help restore our bloodline, we need to gather enough imperial clan disciples and make our imperial clan's blood energy vigorous enough. Because back then, our 9-son royal family was not united, that's why we split. If we want to restore our bloodline, we need to gather a large amount of blood from our imperial clan. As for how to do it, only our Qin clan emperor knows. When Qin Yao Wang spoke of this matter, he is somewhat excited but also helpless. The reason for that was because merely the blood aura of all of the Qin imperial clan's disciples would not be enough to make the myriad realms' divine son reveal its might. Thus, this time around, no matter what, we, the Qin imperial clan, must hold on. We cannot allow ourselves to be destroyed. Only by doing so will we have a chance to recover our 9 sons' bloodline. Only with such a powerful bloodline can we fight against the primal chaos race and other powerful races. Qin Huang said. What about the other clans? Do they know about this? Qin Huayu asked. They know, but they don't believe it. Because only our Qin clan's emperor has received instructions from the myriad realms' divine son, our clan's emperor has no proof. So the other clans think that our Qin clan's emperor is too ambitious and wants to rule over them. Pil King Qin said helplessly. My guess is that it might require 9 types of emperor clan's blood, and enough of it, to be sacrificed together. Through a special altar or something, only then can the blood energy be stimulated and let the myriad realms' divine son sense it. Qin Yun said. This, you guessed it right. Medicine King Qin is slightly startled. He doesn't know who this Qin Fei is. He only learned from Granny Chonghua that he is an inscription pill master from the lower realms and has mastered inscription do technique. Pil King Qin and Qin Huang are also very shocked because the Qin clan's emperor indeed told them this, they did not say it out loud. This information has been leaked out and other powerful factions have learned about it. Qin Yun shook his head and said, It must be the Qin clan's emperor who discussed this matter with the big shots of the other clans. Some of the big shots leaked it out, that's why they want to stop the unification of the emperor clan. The 3 kings looked at each other in dismay because Qin Yun is correct again. If this matter can be kept absolutely secret, the other emperor clans will not be dismantled. Now, even the Qin imperial clan is facing the danger of being dismantled. Qin Yun also has the Qin imperial clan's bloodline in his body. Moreover, it is rather pure. If he can obtain the complete 9 sons' bloodline, his strength will be even stronger. He also desires to obtain the complete bloodline. One must know that the myriad realms' divine son is very powerful. It can make the myriad heavens and myriad realms fuse together into the myriad heavens divine desolate. If he could obtain the myriad realms' divine son to complete his bloodline, he would definitely become incomparably powerful. The reason why the primal chaos race is so strong is because of the primal chaos divine Sunday. And the myriad realms divine son was born from devouring the primal chaos divine son, so it is definitely stronger than the primal chaos divine Sunday. Every time we hold the Medicine King assembly, we try our best to let the other clans participate and give them good treatment. But this time, the other clans are not participating in the exchange, they are just here to join in the fun. Medicine King Qin sighed. Xiao Yuelon said, "The reason why the other clans split up is because of internal factors. They definitely feel that the Emperor clan is too weak and can't withstand a single blow from the other strong clans. Therefore, there is no need for them to exist, so they split up. Yes, in addition to external factors, other strong clans induce them or use some methods to break them up." Qin Huang said very angrily. "The heavenly law divine realm and the primal chaos realm are definitely behind this. Back then, the Nine Suns royal family dominated many heavenly domains and left behind indelible memories in many heavenly domains. The myriad heavens divine desolate is a combination of many heavenly domains and many realms. If the Nine Suns royal family appeared again, they would definitely dominate this incomparably vast myriad heavens divine desolate. And all the major powers in the myriad heavens divine desolate do not wish for anyone to suppress them. Shao Qin, you must have experienced a lot in the lower realms. Do you have any ideas?" Granny Qianghua suddenly asked. She knows that Qin Yun is very experienced in all aspects. He can be considered an old fox. Qin Yun sat there and pondered for a moment. Then he said, "Since the matter of restoring the Nine Sun bloodline has already been leaked, we might as well make it public and let all the disciples of the Imperial clan know. Of course, there will definitely be people who will spread the news that this is a rumor or a conspiracy of our Qin Imperial clan. But no matter what, the other disciples of the Imperial clan will be skeptical. We also thought of doing this before, but we are worried that it will only speed up the disintegration of the Qin Imperial clan." Medicine King Qin said, "Don't worry, the more people try to disintegrate us, the more it proves that it is true. The disciples of the other Imperial clan will believe it even more." Qin Yun said, "Therefore, what we need to do is to defend well, build a safe and stable place and gather the disciples of the other Imperial clan together." Xiao Yuelon said, "These things will definitely not be easy to do." Medicine King Qin nodded and said, "We will talk to the clan emperor." After Qin Yun and the other 10 juniors found out about this, the pressure in their hearts is not small. Qin Yun, Xiao Yuelon and Qin Huayu followed Granny Qianghua and left. The other 7 stayed behind to carry out special training. Qin Huayu also seized the time to learn medicine technique. At that time, she might have to face the young alchemists of the primal chaos realm. And with Xiao Yuelon's help, Qin Yun continued to cultivate. Time is too tight. If I can have profound God cultivation, it will be even more stable. Inside the floating cloud pagoda, Qin Yun's heart is restless and impatient. He is unable to calmly cultivate. Let's go back to the Flower Moon Pavilion. Shui Ru should be arriving at the Qin Medicine King city soon. I will let her go to the Wild Beheader Villa and use a secret technique to speed up the growth of the Xian Wing Divine Grass there, so that you can obtain more Xian Wing Divine Pills. Then, we will cultivate together with you. Maybe you can cultivate the 9th Divine Spirit before the Medicine King Association. Xian Dao Image. Xiao Yuelon said. Shui Ru has a secret technique to speed up the growth of the Xian Wing Divine Grass? Qin Yun said with a frown. Did you forget about your Sun-Moon Divine Bowl? The Sun-Moon Divine Bowl can now condense a kind of Sun-Moon Divine Dew. It is very powerful, but it is rather small. Xiao Yuelon said with smile. Shui Ru has some Sun-Moon Divine Dew. She will definitely help you. Alright, then let's greet Granny Qianghua. Qin Yun said, Sister Rujing and Sister Star God should be back soon. And, when Sister Shuyan arrives, we will cultivate together with you. We can help you quickly refine the Xian Wing Divine Pill and quickly cultivate the Divine Profound Tao Image. Xiao Yuelon said. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon went to find Granny Qianghua. Granny Qianghua knows that Xiao Yuelon is from the Guang Han Palace, but she is still worried about them returning to the Flower Moon Pavilion. Later, Granny Qianghua found out that Slaughter God, Star God and Ice and Snow Goddess are about to arrive at the Flower Moon Pavilion. Only then did she feel relieved and let them return. Moreover, she personally escorted them to the Flower Moon Pavilion. After Qin Yun returned to the Flower Moon Pavilion, he left many secret marks outside and contacted the Dog God. He wants to investigate the situation of the Qin Medicine King City through the Dog God. Moreover, he wants to let the Dog God announce the matter regarding the Nine-Sun royal family bloodline. Nangong Shueru has not returned yet, but she will return soon. Inside a basement of the Flower Moon Pavilion, the Dog God's puppet avatar arrived. The Dog God's puppet avatar has delicate and pretty features. It is completely different from the Dog God. Divine King, do you have any instructions? The Dog God found the Flower Moon Pavilion and brought it here. Dog God, have you heard the news regarding the revival of the Nine-Sun royal family bloodline? Qin Yun asked. I have heard that the Qin clan's great emperor met with the elders of the other emperor clans. They said that the Myriad Realm's Divine Sun can help the emperor clans recover their Nine-Sun bloodline, but they will have to pay a great price. They want the 9 emperor clans to gather together and sacrifice a lot of blood. The Dog God said. The emperor clans have many emperor clans. As long as there are 9 emperor clans, it is clear that the Myriad Realm's Divine Sun is very lenient. But this also means that the 9 emperor clans must be very strong, otherwise the blood won't be enough. Then do you think this news is true or not? Qin Yun asked. I feel that it's extremely likely to be true. According to the information I've obtained, other than the Qin Imperial clan, the other clans of the Imperial clan are unable to unite. Every single clan is divided into several factions. There are even people trying to drive a wedge between them, causing conflicts between the various clans. The Dog God said. Chapter 2140. Dog God thought about it carefully and realized Qin Yun's intention. However, he is still somewhat doubtful and said, Divine King, if you do this, you can indeed let other imperial races' younger generation know about this matter. However, it will also cause Qin Imperial clan to face even greater pressure. No matter, I know what to do, Qin Yun said. Many people from other imperial races' younger generation have come to the Medicine King assembly. Therefore, Qin Yun wants to let them know this secret. If Primal Chaos Realm and Heavenly Law Divine Domain start attacking Qin Imperial clan now, it will be even more true. Alright. Dog God nodded. Oh, that's right. Are there any gods in Myriad Realm's Divine Court who haven't passed down their position? Qin Yun asked. The God of Thunder and the God of Love, the God of Medicine, the God of Pills, the God of Slaughter, they're all old gods from back in the day. Divine King, the gods from back when you were still on the throne have either died, left, scattered, or retired. Now, the majority of them are new gods. The gods of the Divine Court of Myriad Worlds could obtain many benefits through the godly sons of Myriad Worlds. Dog God, when you spread the news, it would be best if you make people think that it was spread by Heavenly Law Divine Domain. Can you do it? Qin Yun said again. No problem. Dog God very confidently said. Alright, you can go. Qin Yun nodded. Dog God immediately started working. Qin Yun is very assured with Dog God. His mind will also participate in this matter. These two gods' cultivation is not high, but their ability and connections are very good. Moreover, they are very shrewd. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are cultivating inside the Flower Moon Pavilion. Nangong Shueru finally arrived at the Flower Moon Pavilion in the middle of the night. She is wearing soft armor, white robe and bamboo hat. She arrived at the Flower Moon Pavilion and saw Little Rainbow Phoenix. She knows that Qin Yun is here and immediately went to find him. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan walked out of their room and arrived at the living room. They saw Nangong Shueru taking off her bamboo hat. Sister Shueru. Xiao Yuelan immediately rushed over and hugged the tender and beautiful person who is as gentle as water and said with a charming smile. Nangong Shueru is already used to Xiao Yuelan's enthusiasm. After she saw Qin Yun, she very happily said with smile, "I thought you wouldn't be able to come to God Desolate." "How is that possible?" said Qin Yun with a smile. "The Sun God Tree has changed a lot, especially after the appearance of the myriad worlds divine sun. The change is even more astonishing." Nangong Shueru immediately reported about the Sun God Tree. Qin Yun listened patiently. Nangong Shueru planted the Sun God Tree in the divine moon of myriad heavens. She said that the Sun God Tree has grown very quickly and turned into a huge tree. Moreover, there are 2 fruits on it. The 2 fruits were like suns, hanging on the branches. Apart from that, there were also many flowers in full bloom. "Continue planting, wait for the fruit to ripen," Qin Yun said. "All right." Nangong Shueru nodded. Soon after, Xiao Yuelan brought up the matter of the Xian Wing Divine Grass. Nangong Shueru immediately agreed to go to the Wild Beheader Villa and use the Sun and Moon Divine Dew to speed up the growth of the Xian Wing Divine Grass. Nangong Shueru rested until dawn, then brought Little Phoenix and the others to the Wild Slayer Manor. Qin Yun wanted to seize the time to cultivate, so he stayed in the training room with Xiao Yuelan. Xiao Yuelan used the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra to help Qin Yun refine the Xian Yi Divine Pill. Not only could it speed up the refining process, it could also make the medicinal power of the Xian Yi Divine Pill even stronger. Early morning, Nangong Shueru left. At noon, Star God and Xian Rujing arrived. They know that Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are in the training room, so they immediately went over. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan came out of the training room and arrived at a small hall. They saw Xian Rujing and Star God. Xian Rujing is wearing a white long skirt. She is emitting a clear and cold temperament. After seeing Qin Yun, a smile appeared on her cold and elegant face. Her beautiful eyes are filled with tenderness. Qin Yun also finally saw Star God. Before, he only saw Star God's illusion through the altar. Now that he has seen her with his own eyes, he can feel the soul-stealing charm of Star God. Star God and Yu Shutian have the same appearance, but Qin Yun thinks that they are completely different. Star God is not at all unfamiliar with Qin Yun. This beautiful and charming woman is wearing a white gown. After seeing Qin Yun, she took off her white gown. Her body is simply covered with a light purple gauze dress. Separated by the translucent gauze dress, her graceful and fiery jade white body is faintly discernible, making her even more alluring. Qin Yun often saw Star God wearing this kind of attire through the altar. But now that he is seeing her with his own eyes, this extremely charming and gentle beauty is overflowing with 100 kinds of charm. It is incomparably bewitching. "Demon, quickly put it on." Xian Rujing lightly groaned. "It's too hot, I won't wear it," Star God said with charming smile. "Big sister Star God, you are so beautiful." Xiao Yuelan's beautiful eyes are glittering. She promptly hugged this incomparably alluring and charming beauty, and enjoyed her charm and gentleness. Xian Rujing walked over, used her ice-cold lily-white palm to slap their buttocks, causing them to let out a delicate cry. "Don't mess around, we need to do proper business." Xian Rujing's tone is that of a big sister as she lightly yelled. "Io, pure as ice and clean as jade, aloof and remote ice and snow goddess, your jealous appearance is so cute." Star God giggled and said, "Demon, quickly take out your god position." Xian Rujing can only vigorously pinch Star God's waist. Star God touched her waist, then took out her god position and handed it over to Qin Yun. She said with smile, "My little brother Divine King, I hand it over to you." Star God's god position is rather special. It is a black pearl that looks like a small star. But if you look carefully, you can see that there are many light specks inside the black pearl. Inside and outside are light specks. "It has been sealed," Qin Yun said with frown. "It is Love God's seal." He promptly took out his Divine King Heavenly Seal and imprinted a few times on Star God's God position. Each time he imprinted, a very formidable power burst out. Very soon, the black pearl suddenly became transparent, the countless light specks inside became even brighter. All right. Qin Yun laughed and returned the God position to Star God. So this is the true Star God position. Star God very happily said with smile after receiving the God position. Then she hugged Qin Yun, moved her delicate body closer to Qin Yun and even kissed his face. Sister Star God, your God position has been unsealed, there should be a new inheritance, you can become even stronger. You should first properly adapt to it. Qin Yun said. Little brother Divine King, thank you. How can I repay you? Can I devote myself to you? Star God's charming eyes are like silk, flickering with an incomparably captivating soft light. Of course you can. Xiao Yuelon said with smile. From today onwards you are mine. Xian Rujing pinched Star God's butt and said, Demonis, quickly adapt to the God position. You must quickly become stronger and help Xiao Yun deal with Thunder God. Xian Rujing just returned and found out that little Thunder God was captured by a bearded man. She immediately guessed that the bearded man is Qin Yun. Thunder God is now in the city, it is very likely that he will have a conflict with Qin Yun. Thunder God, this bastard. Speaking of Thunder God, Star God became very angry and said, I will now go adapt to my God position, I will become even stronger. The Star God entered a cultivation room. Let's go, we will cultivate together. Xiao Yuelon said with mischievous smile, then pulled Qin Yun and Xian Rujing to a room. Yuelon, when did you arrive? Xian Rujing asked. She found it somewhat unexpected that Xiao Yuelon is in Flower Moon Pavilion. I was plotted against by a group of people and ran here. Soon after Xiao Yuelon simply narrated how she was besieged. Xian Rujing became very worried after hearing this. She kept asking about Xiao Yuelon's injuries. After knowing that Xiao Yuelon is fine, Xian Rujing felt relieved. Sister Rujing, you have 9 Yin divine veins. Me and Xiao Yun have 9 Sun divine veins. Let's try cultivating together. Xiao Yuelon's beautiful eyes turned, she said with smile. How about this, we soak in water and cultivate together, it will be very good. Myriad Heaven Divine Moon Spring is specially used to cultivate Sun and Moon Heart Sutra. What is it? Qin Yun asked. Don't ask so much, let's begin. Xiao Yuelon stuck out her tongue and said with smile. Xian Rujing is somewhat reserved, but she was still pulled into a pool by Xiao Yuelon and soaked in Myriad Heaven Divine Moon Spring to cultivate together with Qin Yun. What caused Qin Yun to almost vomit blood is that Xiao Yuelon actually made Xian Rujing release her ice spirits and snow spirit. This little girl Yuelon, she is truly evil. Qin Yun saw Xiao Yuelon touching and rubbing the bodies of those 2 spirits. He can't help but pinch her face to make her concentrate on cultivation. Xian Rujing pursed her lips and lightly smiled. She is already accustomed to Xiao Yuelon acting like this. Qin Yun's Xian Wing Divine Grass seeds are almost used up. He still has a few Xian Wing Divine pills. With Xian Rujing joining in, the cultivation speed has become a lot faster. After cultivating Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, the speed of refining Xian Wing Divine pills has become very fast. Within 2 days, Qin Yun's Divine Saber Dao image has already been cultivated to peak. And his Xian Wing Divine pills have already been used up. After Divine Saber Dao image is cultivated to peak, it means that the 8th Divine Profound Dao image has appeared. A vague shadow appeared on the 8th Divine Profound Dao image, it looks like a silver round thing. 8th Divine Profound Dao image, don't tell me it is a moon. Qin Yun, who is lying on the bed with his eyes closed, suddenly sensed something. He suddenly sat up and said in amazement. I'm not surprised. Xiao Yuelon said with a smile. We cultivated the Divine Moon Dao image back then. Qin Yun looked at Xian Rujing and asked, Sister Rujing, have you also cultivated divine moon Tao image? And Xian Rujing nodded and said, We all cultivated it. The first one is it. It was given to us by Mother Moon. My moon is different from yours, because I did not obtain the help of Mother Moon. Qin Yun said. Xian Rujing got up and put on her clothes, then Xiao Yuelan came over and helped her comb her hair. At this time someone knocked on the door. It is Xiang Yalan's voice. She said in soft voice, Yuelan, is your little husband inside? Some guy called Old Dog is looking for him. He said he has important matter. Old Dog is Dog God. Qin Yun immediately went to open the door. After opening the door, Xiang Yalan discovered to her amazement that Xian Rujing is also inside. He is in the basement, right? Qin Yun asked. Chapter 2141. Qin Yun arrived at Flower Moon Pavilion's underground secret room and saw Dog God's puppet avatar. This puppet avatar is exactly the same as a real person. It is very difficult to see any difference between it and a normal person. Dog God is very anxious. He saw Qin Yun arrive and promptly took out 3 small objects and handed them over to Qin Yun. Qin Yun said in amazement, These are Mind God, Ox God and Great Strength God's God position? The 3 small objects were a heart-shaped crystal, a golden figurine full of muscles, and a black calf. Mind God, Ox God and Great Strength God's God position are in Dog God's hands. The 3 of them have been captured. They might not be able to come back. Quickly take their souls into their God positions and let them be reborn. Dog God said. They have been captured? Who captured them? Qin Yun's expression sank. Mind God is Qin Yun's friend. He and Dog God are working for him. Although Ox God and Great Strength God have not met him, they will surely become his friends in the future. Divine King, don't ask, quickly begin. Dog God hastily said. This won't do, I must know who captured them. I will go save them now. Qin Yun said. It's people from Primal Chaos World who captured them. They are just outside the city. Many powers came to participate in the Medicine King gathering, but none of them entered the city. Dog God said. Qin Yun said with frown. They are 3 gods sent by Myriad Realm's divine court. They dare to attack them? Those fellows from the Chaos Realm are also too willful. Dog God's expression is filled with anger as he said. Those youngsters from Primal Chaos World want to obtain God position and become God. Thunder God also agreed to let Mind God and the others go out to greet Primal Chaos World people. I did not expect. I understand now. It was Thor who sold them off. Qin Yun is also very angry. He tightly clenched his fists and said, Dog God, take me out now, I will go save them. Celestial King, don't go there. Dog Deity hurriedly shook his head. You are no match for them. You should focus on growing up. Qin Yun's voice became stern. He said, Just bring me there, I will definitely rescue them. Dog Deity saw Qin Yun's eyes turn red and sensed a familiar power aura. He was very sensitive to the aura of all kinds of energy, and now, he could sense the aura of the Heaven's Eye. Back then, the Heaven's Eye had appeared in the skies of the myriad worlds, and it had caused a huge commotion. Dog Deity could still remember the terrifying aura of the Heavenly Eye. All right. Dog God can only agree, but he is very shocked in his heart. He did not expect that the mysterious Heavenly Eye would be obtained by Qin Yun. It was early in the morning. After Qin Yun and Dog God left the city, they saw a very large palace. That palace was brought here by those fellows from the Primal Chaos realm. Normally, the palace is shrunk and placed in a storage artifact. When they need it, they will let it out to stay. Dog God said as he pointed at the palace. Do you know who that is from the Chaos realm? When Qin Yun saw the palace's barrier, he knew that the person who came was definitely of high status. There are 8 kings in the Chaos realm. I suspect that guy is the grandson of a king. Dog God said, those fellows from the Chaos Realm are very dreadful. With the same cultivation, we are not their match. Where is Thunder God? Qin Yun asked again. He is still in the city. Maybe because we haven't found little Thunder God, he wants to kill us. Dog God furiously said. Qin Yun looked at the palace and said in low voice, wait for me here. If I don't come back within an hour, go to Flower Moon Pavilion and find Xiao Yuelon. Tell her about this matter. Alright. Dog God nodded. Qin Yun's body suddenly flickered and disappeared without a trace. He used light transformation sacred pupil and arrived beside the palace in a blink. The palace is protected by a very strong barrier, but it can't stop Qin Yun. With a few moves, Qin Yun broke through the barrier and entered the palace. After entering, he used the 3 god positions in his hand to sense their location. Not long after, he arrived at the main hall of the palace. Qin Yun entered stealthily, so the people inside did not discover him. There are 3 pillars inside the main hall that are burning red. The thin and small mind god is tied to one of the pillars by burning red iron chains. His face is filled with pain and he is screaming loudly. His body is burning and emitting smoke. The other 2 pillars are tied to the tall and sturdy great strength god and the robust pitch-black bull head human body god. They are the bull god. And inside the main hall, there are many luxuriously dressed people drinking, eating and chatting. They are looking at the 3 gods being tortured and screaming miserably. They are laughing again and again. The person sitting in the most beautiful chair is the grandson of the Chaos Realm. Qin Yun secretly used Heavenly Eye to scan the people sitting in the main hall. There are more than 100 people here. At least half of them have gray energy flowing within their bodies. That is the power of primal divine Sunday. Qin Yun encountered primal chaos people in Sacred Desolate's Sun Sacred Land, but they were all very weak. In that Sun Sacred Land, there is a mysterious nameless old man who used primal chaos divine sun power to refine primal chaos frost power. This primal chaos frost power is a kind of power used to deal with primal chaos creatures. Qin Yun has mastered a lot of primal chaos frost power. Xian Rujing also cultivated with him and helped him condense the primal chaos frost power's origin. That origin is stored in his nether Sunday. If necessary, he can use that origin to release a certain amount of primal chaos frost power. I wonder if primal chaos frost power will have any effect on these guys. Qin Yun said in his heart. Xiao Yun, use 9 Desolate Divine Saber. 9 Desolate Divine Saber absorbed so much Divine Universe Golden Stone's power, it must be very strong. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun quickly calculated in his heart and then took out several black jars. These black jars contain the poison inside Poison God's storage magic tool. After Qin Yun opened the lid of the jars, a large amount of colorless and odorless poison gas gushed out. These jars are storage magic tools. They contain a large amount of poison gas. Several jars containing different kinds of poison gas frantically rushed out and filled the entire main hall in a short while. Poison God's poison has a special characteristic. When it is used, no one knows. Once the poison flares up, the poison power will quickly erupt. Qin Yun took out the 9 Desolate Divine Saber. When he first obtained this saber, it was severely damaged and he broke it with a palm strike. Now it has already repaired itself and turned into a very strong divine saber. As for how strong it is, he still doesn't know. He will only know after testing it. When he tightly held the 9 Desolate Divine Saber, Qin Yun sensed a violent and surging power. This kind of feeling is as if he can command all the heroes of the 9 Desolate. It must be said that the people inside the main hall are all very strong. They quickly discovered the poison gas. Someone is using poison. Quickly resist the poison power. Quickly release the signal. Let people come over. Who is using poison? The chains on mind. Ox god and Hercules god who are tied to the flame pillar suddenly broke. Qin Yun took action. He saved the three gods and placed them inside a pearl of the nine sun divine soul. Then he rushed towards the primal chaos race royal grandson who is sitting on the most luxurious chair. You are Big Beard. The royal grandson saw a masked man with Big Beard appear and shouted in a deep voice. Big Beard was killed by Poison God. His prestige is still very great. Scram, a lowly creature like you dares to kill a member of the primal chaos royal clan? The royal grandson coldly shouted. His body released a gray primal chaos divine sun divine power. This primal chaos divine sun power is incomparably scorching. When he felt this power, the fear in Qin Yun's heart suddenly surged out. Back in the ancient desolate, he was defeated by a wimpy kid because of this power. This made him feel incomparably familiar. Qin Yun suppressed the fear in his heart. The nine desolate divine saber in his hand suddenly burst out with primal chaos frost power. After the primal chaos frost power passed through the nine desolate divine saber, it became even more powerful. The saber slightly trembled and a very strange power surged out, blowing away the primal chaos divine sun power on the royal grandson's body. Qin Yun poured his divine saber Tao image's power into the nine desolate divine saber. The nine desolate divine saber suddenly surged out an even stronger power and split apart the royal grandson's primal chaos divine sun power. The broadsword slashed down with a berserk power, shattering the terrified royal grandson along with the luxurious chair. In the great hall, half of them were from the primal chaos race, and the other half were from the heavenly law divine realm. They were all from the heavenly emperor and heavenly mother. In their eyes, the royal grandson of the primal chaos race had an extremely high status. Although they were usually very arrogant, none of those royal grandchildren were weak. In the same realm, those royal grandchildren were invincible existences. Even if they were one or two realms higher than the royal grandson of the primal chaos race, it would still be difficult for them to defeat him. But now, that royal grandson had been blasted into smithereens. The faces of the heavenly men and primal chaos race members in the great hall were filled with shock. Some of them even cried out in alarm. Qin Yun gathered his strength and gripped the trembling nine desolate divine saber tightly. He swept it towards the group of primal chaos race members who were seated not far away. Suddenly, the hall was filled with layers of saber shadows and the sound of saber wind whistling incessantly. The violent and ferocious power made the entire palace seem as if it was about to collapse. The group of primal chaos race and the powerful heavenly men were all killed by the chaotic slashes. This happened too quickly. After they were poisoned, Qin Yun suddenly appeared and randomly slashed at them. The saber in his hand was still so terrifying. They didn't even have time to react before they were killed by Qin Yun. The one who is the most shocked is still Qin Yun. Because the nine desolate divine saber in his hand is ridiculously powerful, but it is also very difficult to control. He seems to be very excited and extremely bloodthirsty. He immediately suppressed the nine desolate divine saber and placed it inside the box. After the nine desolate divine saber was placed inside, cracks appeared on its surface. This blade. What exactly is going on? Qin Yun sensed that someone was coming over and immediately rushed out of the palace. When he rushed out, the palace also collapsed. Qin Yun quickly left the palace and returned to the Qin Yao royal city. Then, he gave the three of them the antidote. After meeting with the dog god's clone, they quickly left for the wild beheader villa. The dog god didn't dare to ask much along the way. He was extremely shocked because the palace had collapsed and Qin Yun had returned safe and sound. Chapter 2142. Qin Yun and Dog God arrived at Wild Slayer Manor early in the morning. Qin Zhangquang also quickly came over to entertain Qin Yun and others. Nangong Shueru is also here. She, Little Phoenix, and the others are using Sun Moon Divine Dew to speed up the growth of the Xian Wing Divine Grass. Qin Yun came here mainly to collect the deity position of the Earth God. He first went to take a look at Nangong Shuaru and discovered that the Xian Wing Divine Grass is growing very quickly. The growth speed was very fast. Perhaps by tonight, this batch of profound wing divine grass would almost be mature. This batch of Xian Wing Divine Grasses is enough for me to refine a large number of Xian Wing Divine Pills. Qin Yun said to Nangong Shuiru with smile. After planting this batch, stop using Sun Moon Divine Dew. Your method is very fast when used to grow profound wing divine grass. Moreover, there are a lot of profound wing divine grass that have survived. It's much more brilliant than the medicine god's method. Nangong Shuiru has been here for a day. She learned many methods to grow Xian Wing Divine Grass from Feng Honglan and the others. Continue with your work. Qin Yun entered a room and released Titan God, Mind God and Ox God. The three of them had been poisoned before, and they had just detoxified the poison. In addition, they had been tortured before, so they looked very weak. The mind knew that Qin Yun was the king of gods, but Ox God and Hercules did not. Dog God and Mind God are very cautious. They don't dare to let Ox God and Hercules God know that Qin Yun is the king of gods. However, Ox God and Hercules were extremely grateful to Qin Yun. Originally, they thought that they were doomed. Dog deity had tried to save them before, but because he had sent a puppet clone, he had been unable to save them. He could only take their godhoods. The deity thrones will be returned to them as well. In order to save you, I poisoned everyone in the lobby. The situation at that time was special, please understand. Qin Yun said with smile. We understand. Big brother, thank you so much for saving us. The ox deity laughed. Don't talk about poisoning us. Even if you give us a quick death and avoid torture, we will still be very grateful to you. I was almost tormented to death. Those guys from the primal chaos realm are truly too savage. Hercules said. Thor, that bastard. He actually sold us out. Fortunately, this brother saved us. The mind said angrily. Don't go back to the myriad world's divine court. Qin Yun said. Thunder God knows that the three of you have been captured. Now that you have been rescued and the guy who captured you has been killed by me, Thunder God will definitely look for you. What? The mind exclaimed. Those guys, they've all been killed? Hercules couldn't believe it. With a horrified expression, he said, those fellows are all from the Chaos Realm, and there are even Chaos royalty among them. Dog deity shivered and said in a low voice, Big brother, I thought you only killed a few of them. You actually killed them all? If I don't get rid of them, I won't be able to escape. Qin Yun said with smile. It shouldn't be a big deal if I kill those guys, right? Nyoshin slapped his thigh and laughed. Well done. Those bastards deserve to die for torturing us like this. Brother, don't be afraid, we won't sell you out. Right at this moment, a powerful aura swept over the sky above the Medicine King city. Qin Yun and Dog Deity immediately went out and looked at the sky. Granny Jade Flower, Medicine King Qin, Fire King Qin, Pill King Qin, Thunder God, Medicine God, Pill God, 2 Heavenly Mothers, 3 Heavenly Emperors, Elders of the Divine Inscription Palace and the Heavenly Pill Palace, Elders of the 8 Great Nine Suns Sects, and the Ancient Dan God Sect's Sect Master. A large group of important figures are flying out of the city at their fastest speed. Dog Deity said with grave expression. He has seen all these people before, so he is very sensitive to their aura. Dog Deity, quickly hide your true body. Thunder God will surely find your true body. Qin Yun said. I hid it long ago. Dog Deity said. He sighed in his heart. He really did not expect that Qin Yun would actually kill everyone in the lobby. He is a royal grandson of primal chaos race. His status is very high, that is why he alarmed so many important people. What makes Dog Deity feel the most inconceivable is that Primal Chaos race people are very strong, especially Primal Chaos royalty, yet they were all killed by Qin Yun in such a short time. Qin Yun and Dog Deity promptly returned to their room. In order to keep this matter a secret, Dog Deity and the others signed a soul contract. This way, even if they are tortured, their souls will scatter and scatter before they can say anything. Qin Yun still doesn't realize how important that royal grandson is, so his mood is very relaxed. But Dog Deity and the others are different. They know that this matter will surely shake the entire Primal Chaos world. Oh, that's right. What is that royal grandson's cultivation? Qin Yun curiously asked. Primal Chaos race people should be very strong, right? Boss, you. Dog Deity is somewhat speechless. Heart Deity, Vigor God and Ox Deity are also stunned. They already killed that guy, but they still don't know his cultivation. It happened too fast. I didn't even have time to check their cultivation before I killed them. Qin Yun said with laugh. What he said is also the truth. He rushed out, first killed that royal grandson with one saber strike, then like chopping vegetables, he used all his power to control the 9 desolate divine saber and crazily hacked at the Primal Chaos race people and heavenly beings in the lobby. That royal grandson is a great god, even a very strong heavenly god might not be his match. And most of the Primal Chaos race people here are great gods, that is equivalent to many heavenly gods. Heart Deity exclaimed in admiration. Primal Chaos War Devil might take action. I heard that Primal Chaos War Devil is a great god. He can sweep away all the heavenly gods in the divine desolate. Great strength, you are a heavenly god, according to reason, you shouldn't have been captured. Dog Deity asked. When Thunder God brought us over, he electrocuted me and paralyzed my whole body, then I was captured. Vigor God said. Both Vigor God and Ox Deity are heavenly gods, even if they can't defeat the Primal Chaos race people. If they go all out, it will be very difficult to capture them. There is an Earth God's deity position here. I will go deep underground to look for it. You guys rest well. Qin Yun suddenly recalled this matter. No wonder I sensed the Earth God's aura. He was actually hiding underground. Dog Deity said in amazement. The Earth God's deity position was not passed down, I heard he lost it. Qin Yun left the hut. Vigor God, Mind God and Ox Deity seized the time to heal their injuries, and Dog Deity left the wild beheader manor, strolled around the city to scout for information. Qin Yun entered the medicine garden, took out his divine king heavenly seal and sensed the Earth God's deity position through it. Several hours later, he finally sensed the power of the deity position. It's me. Qin Yun lightly yelled using his mind. Suddenly a pearl condensed under the divine king heavenly seal. There is a lot of wriggling soil inside it. The Earth God's deity position has returned. It is already afternoon when Qin Yun came out from underground. Dog Deity's puppet avatar has also returned. Mind God and others have also recovered quite well. After Qin Yun obtained Earth God's deity position, he wanted to go find Mind God and others, but he saw Xian Rujing inside the medicine garden. After seeing Qin Yun, Xian Rujing promptly flew over. The cold and elegant moving ice goddess has a very anxious expression. After seeing Qin Yun, she immediately threw herself at him and tightly hugged him. Qin Yun is startled. He doesn't know why Xian Rujing is so anxious. Xiao Yun, it's good that you are fine. Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun and kissed his lip. At this time, Mind God, Ox God, Great Strength God and Dog Deity just came out from a corner and saw Qin Yun and Xian Rujing tightly hugging each other. They are immediately stunned. This is Ice Goddess, it is very difficult for them to not know her in Myriad Realms' divine palace. Moreover, everyone knows that Ice Goddess is suffering from lovesickness and drowns her sorrows in wine all day long. She is usually ice cold. But now, she was like a little girl, hugging and hugging someone incomparably affectionately. The sun is so big, it is blinding our dog eyes. What happened? What happened? Mind God promptly raised his head to look at the sun in the sky. Ah, we didn't see anything. Dog deity spread open his arms, wanting to drag Mind God and others away. Mind God and Dog deity know that Qin Yun is the God King. It is understandable that he can capture Ice Goddess. But Ox God and Great Strength God do not know about this, they only feel that Qin Yun is very awesome. Not only did he kill those primal chaos race people, he even subdued Ice Goddess. Xian Rujing is also somewhat amazed. She did not expect these gods to be here. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing are not hugging each other, they are holding hands. Dog deity, what is the situation outside? Qin Yun asked. It is very chaotic. Dog deity laughed loudly and replied. You have been here the whole day? Xian Rujing looked at Qin Yun with a doubtful expression and said, I thought you were the one who did it, I was worried to death. Xian Rujing knows how powerful Primal Chaos Realm is, she is very worried about losing Qin Yun again. Qin Yun took out Earth God's deity position and said with smile, I came here early in the morning to find this thing. Earth God's deity position. I finally found it, I wonder who the new owner will be. Dog deity said with smile. Qin Yun said, give it to old Qin. I will go find him later. It is good that you are fine. Myriad Realms Divine Palace's Divine Judge is here to preside over the meeting. Xian Rujing suddenly looked at Dog deity and the others, causing them to tremble in fear. She asked, Are you going to the meeting? We have other important matter, we have to investigate Poison God's death. We are only following the orders of Elder Cabinet's Great Elder, Divine Judge cannot mobilize us. Dog deity promptly replied. How about this, I will go to the meeting first, this matter has become too big, Myriad Realms Divine Court will have to toss about. Xian Rujing said in cold voice, then glanced tenderly at Qin Yun and left the wild beheader manor. Qin Yun promptly brought Dog deity and the others to a secret room. Boss, what is your background? You actually managed to capture Ice Goddess. Great Strength God said with expression of admiration. Thunder God is a smelly tramp, even in front of Ice Goddess. Ice Goddess is from Divine Moon World. Chapter 2143. This surprised Qin Yun. He never expected that the Chaos race would send a royal grandson over. Wang Sun's strength was indeed not bad. If Qin Yun did not use poison or the 9 desolate divine saber, it would not be easy to defeat him. He might not even be able to defeat him. Of course, this was only limited to his current cultivation. If he could become a profound god, then that might not be the case. If that's the case, will the Chaos Clan send another one over after this prince's death? Qin Yun pondered and asked. Of course it will. The Medicine King assembly this time was different from the previous ones. In the past, the other clans of the imperial clans would more or less participate. But now they are not participating, but the primal chaos race is participating. Dog God said. Apart from the chaos world, what other factions will participate? Qin Yun took the opportunity to learn more. The Dog God said, Natural Law Divine Realm, 9 Suns Sect, Thunder God Hall. Those sent out by the Natural Law Divine Realm are naturally those very strong Heaven Realm people. These kinds of Heaven Realm people are called Heaven War Gods. As for the 8-9 Suns sects, they will gather 10 young disciples to fight. As for the Thunder God Hall, they will also send 10 young geniuses to fight. The Thunder God was actually also participating. Evidently, he was planning to attack the Qin Imperial Clan's confidence together. The Heavenly Tao Divine Domain, Thunder God Hall, and the 9 Suns sect posed no threat to Qin Yun, but the Chaos World was different. At night, Qin Yun called Qin Zhanquang to a secret room and made him cover his eyes. Through the Divine King Heavenly Seal, he passed the Earth God's deity position to him. Qin Zhangquang was very excited to obtain the Earth God's godly seat. Of course, his deity position was the new kind. The original deity throne of the Earth God was still in Qin Yun's hands. Previously, Qin Yun had used this method to give Little Phoenix and the others the Rain God's deity authority. Qin Yun originally planned to pass the position of Grass God to Qin Zhangquang, but he was afraid of being suspected, so he gave up. Now Qin Yun has Grass God, Rain God, Snake God, Poison God and Earth God. They are all primordial deity positions. I wonder if I can have 2 deity positions. Qin Yun looked at his Divine King Heavenly Seal. There wasn't much Heavenly Tao divine power left inside, so he couldn't continue passing it down. He could only wait until he accumulated enough Heaven's Path divine power before giving it a try. At night, Qin Yun finished harvesting the Xian Wing divine grasses and obtained many seeds. Then he returned to Flower Moon Pavilion with Nangong Shuiru and the others. Xian Rujing has not returned. She and Xiang Yalan have been summoned by the Divine Chief Judge for a meeting. After Qin Yun returned to the Flower Moon Pavilion, he went to find Xiao Yuelan. Xiao Yuelan stayed in the training room to cultivate. When Qin Yun arrived at the training room, he sensed that something was amiss with Xiao Yuelan. She sat cross-legged on the soft cushion with her eyes closed. Her face was cold and her whole body was emitting a threatening murderous aura. Yuelan! Qin Yun lightly shouted. Xiao Yuelan opened her eyes, her ice-cold expression gradually disappeared and a sweet smile appeared on her beautiful face. Xiao Yun, are you all right? Xiao Yuelan smiled gently, got up and threw herself into Qin Yun's embrace. What can happen to me? Qin Yun caressed her face and said, What cultivation technique are you cultivating? You looked quite scary just now. I am not cultivating anything, I am just cultivating more seriously than usual. You killed Primal Chaos Race's royal grandson, of course I want to become stronger as fast as possible, that way I can protect you. Xiao Yuelan said. What royal grandson? Qin Yun pretended not to know. Xiao Yuelan lightly snorted, rolled her eyes at Qin Yun and said, Xiao Yun, apart from you, who else has this kind of courage? Who else can do such a thing? Yuelan, don't worry, I really didn't do it. I have been in the Wild Beheader Villa all day long. Shuiru can testify. Qin Yun said with relaxed smile. He would rather die than admit it because he doesn't want Xiao Yuelan to worry. You still want to lie to me? Xiao Yuelan pinched Qin Yun's waist and said with charming smile, Xiao Yun, it was definitely done by you. You are the king of gods, 9-Sun Palace King, you fear neither heaven nor earth. Apart from you, who would dare to attack that royal grandson? Qin Yun sighed and said, I really didn't do it. Xiao Yuelan's beautiful face suddenly became solemn. She very earnestly looked at Qin Yun and said, Xiao Yun, the situation this time is very serious. You must make sufficient preparations. All right, I did it. Qin Yun spread out his hands and told Xiao Yuelan the ins and outs of the matter. After Xiao Yuelan finished listening, she is very calm. She nodded and said, You did well. Primal Chaos Race is very strong, but they are not the strongest race in the Divine Desolate. Yuelan, why do you say the situation this time is very serious? Qin Yun said with frown, Could it be that Primal Chaos Race is going to flatten this place? It is possible. Primal Chaos Race has 8 clan kings and 1 clan emperor. Now that the little grandson has been killed, in a fit of rage, the clan king might kill his way over. Xiao Yuelan said. Of course, if he wants to deal with Qin Imperial Clan, he will have some misgivings. Qin Imperial Clan's emperor is not weak. Qin Yun said with smile. Sister Rujing doesn't know that I did it, don't tell her. She is so worried that she directly went to the Wild Beheader Villa to find me. When the matter happened, I kept telling her that it has nothing to do with you. Xiao Yuelan's solemn face suddenly revealed a smile and said, She is truly afraid of losing you. Qin Yun took out a large amount of Xian Wing divine grass seeds, placed them inside the pill transformation heavenly furnace and began refining pills. Then Xiao Yuelon went to find Nangong Shuuru and the others to help Qin Yun refine the Xian Wing divine pill. Inside the cultivation room, Qin Yun is holding Feng Honglan with his left hand and Xiao Yuelon with his right hand. Shui Weiwei, Yuan Yenying, Gu Qiufei, Little Phoenix and Nangong Shuuru are all gathered here. Xiao Yuelon operated Sun and Moon Heart Sutra and began helping Qin Yun refine the Xian Wing divine pill. The Xian Wing divine pill Qin Yun refined this time is also very big because he put in a large amount of Xian Wing divine grass seeds and divine flame leaf. After eating it, Qin Yun sensed a very formidable power attacking his body. Nether Sun is spinning crazily. After refining the Xian E divine pill, it spewed out a special medicinal power and passed through Qin Yun's body to Xiao Yuelon. Through Sun and Moon Heart Sutra, Xiao Yuelon transformed the medicinal power into a stronger one and then transmitted it to Gu Qiufei and the others. Finally, it returned to Qin Yun's body through Feng Honglan. Qin Yun is currently cultivating the 8th Divine Mystic Tao image, the Divine Moon Tao image. He originally thought that the Divine Moon Tao image had some connection with the Nether Moon, but after it gradually formed, there was no connection at all. After cultivating for an entire night, he had only managed to refine a single great enigmatic wings divine pill. According to this speed, Qin Yun would be able to cultivate 9 divine mystic Tao images before the Medicine King gathering and even step into the profound God realm. After Xian Rujing and Xiang Yalan returned, they also joined in. Qin Yun didn't ask much about the Chaos Race. In short, the atmosphere in Qin Yao Royal City was very tense. Qin Yun's instructions to Dog God were done very well. As long as the Dharch races are united, they will be able to obtain the complete bloodline of the 9 Sons royal race. This rumor spread like wildfire in Medicine King City. And this rumor came from the mouths of many heavenly people in the heavenly law divine realm. Dozens of primal chaos races clansmen were killed. It caused a huge commotion in Medicine King City. And now, after the news of the 9 Sons royal race's bloodline spread, the city became even more lively. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 days passed. Qin Yun has already cultivated the 8th Divine Mystic Tao image. The 9th Divine Mystic Tao image has already appeared, however. He has not been able to cultivate it to form, causing him to be unable to know what kind of Divine Mystic Tao image it is. More and more people are arriving outside of Medicine King City. Because many people believe that once the Medicine King gathering begins, the Qin Imperial clan will be exterminated. A royal grandson of Primal Chaos Race was killed outside the city. The clan king of Primal Chaos Race will most likely vent his anger on the Qin Imperial clan. Furthermore, many big shots of the Dharch race's clansmen have arrived with their clansmen. Even the Imperial Dragon clan has gathered many powerful old dragons. Immortal Desolate Dragon Emperor, along with Qin Long and Divine Universe Ice Dragon, arrived outside of Medicine King City. And more than 10 Heavenly Mother Heavenly Emperors have arrived from the Heavenly Law Divine Domain. With Qin Yao King City as the center, many people have gathered outside of the city. Variant Dragon Race, Outer Heaven Domain Alliance Army, 9 Underworld Realm, have all sent many people. Because this Medicine King gathering will most likely erupt with a super battle since the birth of myriad heavens divine desolate. Everyone wants to spectate and try their luck to see if they can pick up some divine treasures. Originally, Qin Imperial clan was under great pressure, but they found out that many big shots of the Dharch race have brought a large group of people to support them. They are very moved. From time to time, Divine Judge will call Xian Rujing away. Myriad Realms' Divine Court wants to prevent the war from erupting, otherwise their Divine Court will be useless. When the time comes, even Thunder God will have to endure the pressure to prevent the war between Primal Chaos Race and Dharch Race. Myriad Realms' divine court was established to maintain order in Myriad Heaven's divine desolate. Many powerful factions have participated and promised to cooperate with the Myriad Realms' divine court. Thunder God has been looking for Mind and others. He doesn't know if they are still alive or not. Only Thunder God knew that the little grandson was torturing Mind and the other two before he was killed. Qin Medicine King City looks very calm, but a storm is surging in the dark. There are only 3 days left until Medicine King Gathering. Qin Yun's 9th Divine Profound Tao image is finally unable to continue growing. Its absorption of Xian E Divine Pill has reached its limit. The 9th Divine Profound Tao image has already been cultivated to perfection. However, Qin Yun doesn't know what kind of Divine Profound Tao image it is. He can only see a large energy mist floating beside the Nether Sun. The other Divine Profound Tao images are all revolving around the Nether Sun. Only the 9th Divine Profound Tao image is not revolving around the Nether Sun. It seems to be very aloof and not under the Nether Sun's control. What kind of Divine Profound Tao image is this? Qin Yun is very puzzled in his heart. Xiao Yun, don't worry about it. Since the 9 Divine Profound Tao images have been cultivated to the pinnacle, let's start opening Xian Divine Tao Meridian. Xiao Yuelon said. Through the Divine Profound Tao image, open Xian Divine Tao Meridian. Xian Divine Tao Meridian uses the divine veins within the body as the foundation and cooperates with the Divine Profound Tao image to open. After opening Xian Divine Tao Meridian, the divine power will become even stronger and the Divine Profound Tao image will become even stronger. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.